and welcome to Xbox Infinite. Apologies to everyone out there in the chat. You guys are amazing for sticking around. We had a few technical issues this morning. One of the technical issues is that I slept in, but I also woke up with a blistering headache, and then the stream wanted to crash about 3 or 4 times. So I finally got it up and running. Apologies to everyone. It's early over here. Yeah, you guys are amazing, as I said, for sticking around. So welcome everyone in the chat, and welcome to our guest this week, Crispy Bomb. You guys may know him from Mr. Boom's X Factor, and also from, I believe, the next podcast. Crispy, man, how you going? Sorry to keep you waiting. I do apologize. How has your week been? What have you been playing? What have you been up to, man?
Oh, I haven't been up to much. Been actually binge watching some shows more than anything. Get a little Gears and MK in there always, and played some TMNT Shredder's Revenge not too long ago. A little co-op couch, so that was fun with the fam. But yeah, it's great to be here. Great. Glad you could have me, man.
Awesome, man. Thanks for coming on. And again, apologies to everyone for being late, and to you. Shooter, he knew it, but he didn't say anything. Yeah, I appreciate it, Shooter, man. You're a champion. An amazing panel every week. Doom Cutie, how have you been? What have you been up to? You got some exciting news this week. Let everyone know what that is, and how you've been and what you've been playing.
Hey everyone. Hey chat, thank you so much. You guys stuck around, but you know what? You stuck around because of the amazing, absolutely incredible job that Risket did on our new intro. So well done to him. We've also got our new logo live up on the screen there now. It looks really good, and that's all because of Risket. So thank you to Risket for all your hard work that you do for our podcast. This week has actually been a really exciting week for me because I was asked to come to PAX with an influencer badge. So I'll be there. I'll be there all 3 days. So if you want to know anything to do with PAX, what's going down at PAX, any of that, please feel free to hit me up. I also have my own domain now. I have like a website. So yeah, I'll link that in the chat. And you guys can check that out, and you'll be able to access all of my content there in the one place, which is really, really good, really easy for me to link. And yeah, this week I've been playing a lot of Cult of the Lamb. I've been loving that game so much. Aussie, Melbourne developed game. Yeah, really, really fun, really cute. And yeah, if you haven't played it, get on it because it's a lot of fun. Risket's in my cult actually, and yeah, it's quite fun. I haven't done anything mean to him. I had to promise that I wouldn't for him. I
don't give away my. I don't give away my body.
First sacrifice. He should have been the literal first sacrifice. But okay.
Yeah,
that's saved for you, Umbra.
I haven't played that game yet, but I heard it's not bad.
It's not bad. Oh.
Throw a tomato. Somebody near him, throw a tomato at him.
Boo. Moving on to our next amazing panelists. Definitely not Umbra after those comments. JediKnightPete, how you doing, man? What have you been playing? How's your week been? I know what you've been playing, and I disapprove. But how you been?
Yeah, really good, mate. Looking forward to this. Welcome, Crispy Bomb. Can't wait for another episode. I think we're up to episode 39. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. As usual, you guys are awesome. I have been living in Ark. It has taken over my life. I'm running a dedicated server, and we've got the Tribe of the Jedi Knights. Yes, I didn't come up with that name. Everybody came up with that together. But loving it. Also playing the Ascent for a second time with you, Risket, because we're taking Umbra through the first time. And I actually jumped in and played Bright Memory Infinite yesterday, and yeah, loving that game. Looks absolutely beautiful. A lot better than I thought. So if you haven't tried it out, check it out.
Awesome, fantastic. Yeah, it is a great game, Bright Memory Infinite. I loved it when I played it. It's a bit of a short experience, but if you haven't played it, it's definitely worth the price of admission. So guys, jump on into the Xbox store and grab that. It's a single developer, but he made that game feel amazing. It is a bit buggy, but it's good. Umbra, how you doing, man? How has your week been? What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Oh man, I've been doing a lot of work, but I am like Pete alluded to. We've been playing some of that the Ascent, bugs and all. Having to do the old Jedi and reset our console constantly. But yeah, man, just playing some of that. Really, I haven't been playing much else, honestly. I've just been working and trying to get the rest of this little remaining COVID out of my system. But other than that, I've been enjoying that. The game is gorgeous, by the way. And I'm looking at Ori now. That is just reminds me of how gorgeous that is. I want to thank you, Crispy, for joining us this week. And I want to give a shout out to everybody else in the chat who constantly supports us. What's up, Gray? What's up, Shooter? Talos, what's up? Excuse me. UVA fan. I'm gonna do a Pong so y'all. So let me announce everybody. Tool Man, Sensei, Logic, everybody. Gone Mad, Timmy, who
We'll be
follows me
here all
everywhere.
day. We'll be here
Yes.
all day.
Happy team, AJH,
She doesn't
Doovy,
want me to shout you all out, as you can see.
Young,
Oh, no!
Oh,
Nav,
Wow.
Boba.
No, never.
Hey, I didn't say it. She did. Y'all heard it. Nah,
No, I was
They're
just
all here
saying
for me,
we have
guys. All
so
here for me.
many lovely people in here, and it's if we shouted everyone out, we'd be here all day.
Yeah, and look, we love every single one of you guys. You guys are amazing, and you come in every week and support us, and we love that you do. But let's jump into topics and not mess around. But before we do, I'll actually tell you what I've been playing. I have said for the longest time that Ori was overlooked. I've never played the first one. I did start playing it, wasn't vibing with it, and went to Will of the Wisps. I went back to it yesterday, actually, and I am absolutely loving this game. If you haven't played Ori, guys, and there's a lot of people that haven't, you've got to get this game downloaded. It's on Gamepass. 1 and 2 are absolutely amazing, so jump in and play those. But on to the topics for the week. Sorry, that's singing. We don't do that here. We do not do that here, Umbra.
I've actually heard you sing a lot more lately, Risket.
I've heard it too.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of happiness. And Pete, just to correct you, and it's completely my fault. It's actually episode 38. You were right, Cutie, earlier in the week when you said it was episode 38. It is 38.
Ah, thank you.
Diggity
Thank you very much.
dang! I got it wrong.
Everybody has to be right sometime. Cutie.
Yeah.
This is your turn.
Yeah,
all
that's
it
right.
is, you know.
That's right.
Umbra, that's two. That's 2 strikes now. Okay,
Oh, wow.
third, and you have
There's a
to be
strike
in,
system.
yeah, you'll have to be in timeout. So
Ooh, teacher, it's a teacher thing. Look, a lot happened this week, guys. Some amazing things happened this week that I'm pretty excited about. And the first one off the rank is Embracer went ahead and purchased Middle-earth Enterprises, Tripwire Interactive, Limited Run Games, Tuxedo Labs, String Tricks, and another undisclosed studio that creates PC and console games that they're not talking about. And this is what the announcement was made by them, I think it was a couple of days ago. This is what they had to say. They said, "I'm truly excited to have The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, one of the world's most epic fantasy franchises, join in the Embracer family, opening up more transmedia opportunities, including synergies across our global group. I am thrilled to see what lies in the future for this IP with free mode and Asmodee as a start within the group. Going forward, we also look forward to collaborating with both existing and new external licensees of our increasingly stronger IP portfolio." Wow, that's a mouthful. That was Lars Wingfors the founder of the Embracer Group. Now that company is absolutely massive at the moment. It is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it only helps to assist Microsoft get that ABK deal through. So this, I think, is a great thing. Embracer is a great company that does tend to look after the IPs and the studios that they have. And I've really heard nothing but good things from the back end of that. And when it comes to games, they have put out some pretty decent games as well. So I was super excited about that. Private Division on Lord of the Rings also announced that they have a new Lord of the Ring game that's slated for 2024. I don't see how that's going to happen, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Slated for 2024. It's in early development, so basically you've got 2 years to develop a game. That's craziness. Come on, man. And they're working with Weta Workshop. If you don't know who Weta Workshop is, they deal in props and special effects, and they did all of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. They have had a gaming studio since 2014. A Private Division is 2K, basically. One an arm of 2K, and they published a lot of AA s, AAAs. Famously, they published just slipped straight
Outer
out.
Worlds.
Outer Worlds just slipped straight out of my head. Thank you very much. So I look forward to seeing what they can produce. I don't think it's going to happen by 2024. This is a great time to be a gamer. Crispy, you obviously heard about. There's a lot to cover in this. You obviously heard about this earlier in the week. And I'm pretty excited for a new Lord of the Rings game. I'm ready. It's time. I think we at least need a AA Lord of the Rings game. The last one, I believe, was Shadow of Mordor that was any good. And that game is also amazing, also in Game Pass. So if you guys haven't played that, jump in to play it. And Crispy, are you excited to see Private Division and see what Weta Workshop can do, especially considering the pedigree of the movies? I couldn't imagine they would put out anything that is subpar.
Hopefully not. I mean, you know, they got to make a new branch off of a story, in my opinion. You know, take some of the other works that Tolkien has done and kind of, you know, add them in, because there's like a ton of books. So, I mean, they can go a lot of different ways with it. And I mean, we really, you know, Lord of the Rings kind of been dormant for a while on the gaming side of things. So, you know, it hasn't been really utilized the way it should be. It's such a large IP base with The Hobbit as well. It makes sense for it not to be just sitting there. So, I mean, it's good to see somebody that's getting ready to do something with it. I'm curious, like, you know, as far as having all that there, like what Embracer actually intends on doing with it. Could there be some other type spin-off things that go on with that? I mean, the whole deal is interesting, that they kind of just bought up 8 studios in like a 6-month span, just about. They're 120 studios strong. That's a lot. Surprisingly, they're worth a little bit more than Bethesda was. So it's an interesting thing. I don't know what they're actually lining up to do. I actually have a theory that they might be lining themselves up to get purchased down the road. It seems that way only because they go after small little like nibbles, and it just keeps adding to their giant base of studios and IP they have. So I really think it's something we got to watch, because if they continue on this track, and as that ABK deal closes, I think it's going to be something that, you know, down the road, if Microsoft in a few years says we offered Embracer $20 billion and bought all that, would they stop them? Because they, you know, the FTC and everybody else has allowed Embracer just to buy up these little nibbles. So it's one of those things now, the ABK deal, how bad does it really look when you have technically 120 studio strong Embracer group sitting there still purchasing? It's an interesting thing right now. You know, it's good because Embracer does, you know, actually do something with the IPs generally. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, well, not only that, though, I think they've got 850 IP, is it IPs that you were saying? You said they've got 120 studios and 850 IPs, or
not sure on the IP. I was just saying in general they have a ton of IP. I know it's in the hundreds, definitely. It's probably like 200, something like that.
Yeah,
and that's conservatively. I mean, there are some that they haven't used in a very long time, and you know, I've just been sitting there dormant. You'd have to like really get into their entire, like, every company they own and how much IP each one has, and you know, I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but I haven't found like a actual rundown of everything that they own right now. I'm sure somebody will probably do that very shortly, because I mean, it's insane how much they have right now, and you know, just hopefully like they don't have, you know, they didn't buy some of these things just to sit there, because now you've bought 8 in a period of time. You got like Crystal Dynamics now, you got, you know, Eidos Montreal, you got these big studios, and now you're like nibbling up these small ones. Now what are we going to see them?
That's a very good point. I was going to bring up as we went through, but I'll bring it up now. You've just bought the Lord of the Rings. They do have, by the way, 850 IP. You've just bought the Lord of the Rings. You've got 2 extremely good studios, you know, more than AA studios, which is what they tend to have focused on. They've now got a couple of AAA studios in Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, and they've got the Lord of the Rings IP. That to me is just like a match made in heaven. I would love to see a Crystal Dynamics do a Lord of the Rings, even an Eidos Montreal do a Lord of the Rings. I think that would be an amazing combination. They've got games like Biomutant. They've got a lot of AA stuff. So you're absolutely right. What they're doing is quite interesting and how they're approaching things. They're growing small, but I think that's a clever way to do it. So you don't bring the focus of the FTC down upon you. Umbra.
Yeah.
Were you excited to see, the announcement that we are finally going to get a Lord of the Rings game? Because man, why has that IP been sitting dormant for so long? And are you happy to see Embracer buy up some of these studios and buy up the Lord of the Rings IP and see what they can do?
I don't know if excited would be the word for the Embracer. Like if it was Microsoft, I'd be excited.
Come on, man,
But-
get excited! This is Embracer.
I mean, Embracer seems to be on the right side of things when it comes to acquiring these studios, and like they don't stifle creativity or anything. So for that, I'm excited. But at the fact, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm a greedy gamer. If I can get these things to all come to Microsoft, to Xbox, I know that those things are coming to Game Pass. So that saves me tons of money. So I'm always going to be an advocate for that first and foremost. So I would always be more excited if it was Microsoft that did it, just because of that. But I will say, Embracer being who they are and not getting themselves in and involved in any other business to interfere with the creators on the creative side, I like that about them. And like you said, they do have 850 IP. They have 220 games in development. They have 25 AAA games expected in the next 4 years, and 120 internal development studios. That's ridiculous. And Crispy, did you mention that they are as valuable or like worth as much as Bethesda? Is that true?
It's about 8.8 billion right now, so just a little bit more.
Wow, that's it. You would think that they're in the hundreds of billions or something almost, or something close.
$7.27 a share. I'm actually thinking about buying some.
Yeah, I know, right? May as well. I'll say this. I would be more excited if Embracer bought all these and Microsoft pulled a coup and bought Embracer and took everything.
Yeah, don't you all go buying shares because I may get in there before the price goes up. So everyone just back off.
Yeah.
But they do have some crazy studios, Umbra. They got Dark Horse Media, they've got Dark Horse Media. They've got some crazy IPs that they can work with. Dark Horse Media, they've got Lord of the Rings. So that's a lot of content to pull from. But they've also got THQ Nordic, which do make or do publish some decent AA games. They've got Gearbox, right? Now they've got Crystal Dynamics. Right now they've got Eidos Montreal. So yeah, I agree, man. 8.8 billion with a lot of the little studios and some of the big IP they have. It seems like a pittance, right?
It does, man. And it's so funny because for the longest, I always thought that, somebody like Lara Croft, a character like Lara Croft, that franchise would have been snapped up by Microsoft. So that's part of why I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe Microsoft can go ahead and liberate Embracer or something. I don't know. But anyway, seriously, getting back to that, though, the whole Lord of the Rings thing, I don't know how anybody allowed Embracer alone to take the winning bid for that. That's a very valuable franchise right there. So I was actually very surprised by that, to hear that actually happen. And Embracer, by the way, I just want to throw this out there because, and I said this to you guys when we were on the party. What's up, Spooky? I see you out there. Something that caught my attention is that if it's Microsoft doing these acquisitions, as we all know, we'll get met with monopoly. Oh, this isn't fair. Mr. President, could you please stop this? All these things. But Embracer by far has the most IP and studios they've bought, and nobody says a word about it. I just find it very weird, but I know why it's happening, and we all know why it's happening. Because, PlayStation guys, because those are the only people who really complained like that. But they haven't said a peep about Embracer. Isn't that funny? But I don't know. I just find it odd that they can kind of get away with this. And this is one of the things I wanted to say that I found. Like, people hyped up the ABK thing, and I get it. I hyped it up too, to a degree. It's a big deal, right? Clearly. But at the same time, one of my negatives for ABK, it seems to be that a lot of the acquisitions that I would want Microsoft to get have now kind of been snatched up by other people because of the ABK situation. And it seems like we're on hold for that while everybody is getting some of the valuable IP I think would have been nice to have at home at Xbox. So yeah, excited, not really, because I would prefer to be on Xbox, but very interested in seeing how they utilize it. And also, as they had spoke about in the chat, Amazon had a deal to get the rights for the Lord of the Rings like TV show or whatever they would do for, I guess, for Amazon Prime. So I'm interested in seeing how that's going to work too, and if they're going to go through with that, or if since now Embracer owns the entire thing, so I don't know how that's going to work out.
You raised some good points, man. Look, I just before I move on to Cutie here, I'm happy when Embracer purchases something, dude. I don't mind the only time I kind of get a bit disappointed is it was when Sony purchases something. Even though I have a console, I prefer to play on the Xbox. And when Embracer purchases an IP or a studio, I know I'm going to get to play those games on the console that I prefer. So yeah, I don't mind third parties purchasing studios and pumping out games. That does get me excited, especially with the way that Embracer operates and the way that they look after their IPs, their studios, the people. So yeah, to me, it is exciting. I understand where you're coming from. We're all staunch supporters of Xbox here. Obviously, we've got Xbox Infinite. But yeah, this to me is only a good thing. I think the bigger the studio gets, the more AAAs we're likely to see from this company, and it might end up being the likes of an EA or a Ubisoft or an ABK, and I think that's only a good thing because I think those companies are starting to get stale and run the same formulas or make the same mistakes. And having someone in the market that can push those companies and as well the first party companies can only be a good thing. Cutie, I don't know if you're a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I would imagine that you would be, being a massive WoW fan. Are you excited to hear about Private Division and WetaWorks putting out a game? The company that did the special effects for the movie. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Look, I think that in general, so Embracer Group obtaining a whole bunch of these small studios, I think is a really good thing. I think that it provides these studios with job security for the developers, which is an awesome thing and something that we all advocate for. I also think that a Lord of the Rings game in production would be absolutely incredible. Obviously, it would be many, many years in the future, but I personally would really like to see something from that universe in current gen. I think it would be a beautiful, incredible game, an amazing action RPG, and yeah, I would love it. Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I just want to be a little hobbit. Like, can we just arrange that?
Well, you could be a golem soon. I don't know about Hollow.
Yeah, you can be a golem. But yes, I would love that. That would be really, really fun.
Yeah, we have.
Yes.
We just
somebody give her some hairy feet.
Hairy feet. Wow.
Already got him. I already got him. No, I don't. I do not have hairy feet. That is a myth. Yeah, look, it's been a while since we've had anything from this IP, which is crazy because the fan base is massive for this. This is on a level of Marvel. It's on a level of Star Wars. It's on that level, and nothing has been coming really in the way of AAAs for a lot of the Rings games. So I am super excited about it. Pete, I imagine that you are also super excited about hearing a game. And what do you think about Embracer purchasing the IP going forward?
Yeah, look, everything Embracer has done, and they have been going on an absolute buying spree since 2013. Like, I don't think anyone realizes how much these guys have been doing in the background. This Lord of the Rings purchase has just sort of brought it to the forefront. It's definitely the biggest IP they have. I mean, we were talking about them recently, where everyone was talking about Microsoft purchasing Square Enix, Eidos, But Embracer Group actually got that acquisition, and they got it for a steal. I think it was $300 million, if I remember correctly. So yeah, like I said, they've been going on an absolute buying spree since 2013. I love their moniker. They changed their name from THQ Nordic, I think, to Embracer because their whole moniker is embrace great companies, great people, and great ideas. And they also have a very great portfolio now, which just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, they own Darksiders, Time Splinters, um, Kingdoms of Amalur, just yeah, look, Biomutant. They have, I think, Dead Island 2, Homefront: The Revolution.
Yeah,
Just
wow.
yeah, their Goat Simulator, Valheim, Wreckfest. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They really have been going on a buying spree. Everything I've seen from Embracer in terms of how they're operating themselves in the industry, I actually really like. They basically give whatever company they're working with the money, the time, and the resources to make a great game. They don't overmanage anybody. They basically let creative people be creative people, and I love that about them. In terms of Lord of the Rings, oh, I mean, how could you not be excited? One of the great fantasy franchises that we have. And I had a little bit of a thought. I just recently bought IOI Interactive, yeah, and IOI Interactive are moving away from Hitman and making Project Dragon, which is meant to be a sci-fi, a fantasy game. Imagine they turned that game that they were making, which was called Project Dragon, a Lord of the Rings game. So you've got IOI working
Nice.
on Lord of the Rings. That
Yeah,
I
I like it.
think would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, look, I can't wait to see what comes out of this.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man. I'm just interested. I am interested in seeing what they'll do with all of this, man. It just I can't get rid of the weird feeling though in my head where it feels like Embracer is just kind of snap. I don't think like they have some type of passion for gaming. I don't think that's the case. I think they're just, getting things that's valuable. Gaming is obviously very lucrative. So it feels kind of like a bunch of shareholders and getting together and like, oh, let's snatch this up for and rake in some money, which is cool, don't get me wrong. But when I think of gaming and such, I don't want it to just be all about a cash grab. At the end of the day, it's going to be that, but I want somebody who's going to be doing it for the reason of actually having a love for games too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree. But I
yeah,
mean, would you prefer Embracer or would you prefer Tencent buying? I mean, I know,
embracer,
yeah,
no question. So yeah, I'm
and
with
that's
you
what
on
I was
that.
thinking as well, mate.
Yeah. You got a big fan in the chat, by the way, Pete. It's Hund.
Sorry, Wiz, I'm having technical difficulties today, brother. It's
Yeah,
really difficult.
he's just throwing up nothing but hearts for you. Go take care of your damn mullet. That's what you do. And no, where's our love at, by the way, Wiz? But anyway, though, yeah, he says he prefers you. No, but yeah, man, I'm excited. Like I said, just for the reason of knowing, or not excited. I'm happy for the reason of knowing they don't interfere with the creatives, like you pointed out too, and that I'm excited for at least. But it just seems like they're just them, much like Tencent. Oh, let's just snatch up something we know is going to be lucrative, and I don't know. It could be problematic for that reason. But I guess so long as they don't interfere with the creative side of things, we don't have anything to worry about. So we'll see what goes on. I'm just kind of shocked that they're only is worth as much as something like a Bethesda. When, like Chris pointed out, that shocked me. I thought they were worth much more than that.
Oh, I
There you
did
go,
too.
Umbra. Panda
Yeah.
just threw you some hearts, brother.
There you go. Thank you, Panda. Thank you, Panda. Love you too. There you go. Umbra number one. I see you, Kiryu.
You
See?
know, I'm feeling the lack of love. I really
Yeah.
am.
Oh, I mean, who
Um,
started up the Ark server, brother? Come on, man.
you know what? I'm gonna start up a server. I don't know on what yet, but I'm gonna start one. So
Everybody.
watch this space, guys.
All for Cutie. Make sure you don't give her any love.
Oh wow! Did we have any questions from the chat? I think this
If you
would be a
guys
good
have
time.
any questions, if you guys have any questions, feel free. Oh, I see you, Wiz. You gave me some love, and my boy Kiri holding me down though. Yeah,
Absolutely. You guys in the chat are absolutely amazing, except for Hund. I'm hiding him from the channel. I don't know.
Risk it. They're not giving us any love.
But guys in the chat, if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button, guys. As always, if you are joining us once again for episode 38 of Xbox Infinite. Look, there was a lot of news this week. This week was absolutely huge for news, which has been a bit of a change. Everything kind of came at once. And Disney has announced its new its new showcase with Marvel and Star Wars, obviously making an appearance there. And we hopefully we're going to get to see Amy Hennig's new Marvel game. And she's of the pedigree of Uncharted. And formerly of PlayStation. So it should be pretty interesting to see what she has coming. And Cutie, I was going to go to you on this one, and then probably to Pete, because I know Pete's a massive Star Wars fan. And Cutie, have you been checking out what's been going on with this showcase? I know you're hot on the press. I'm pretty excited to see what they do, and I think it's always good to have another showcase. Do we have room for this though? And does it mean that we won't be seeing these games at E3 or at Gamescom or I think it's a bit of a blow to Gamescom. And I would love to have seen some of these games at Gamescom, but I'm pretty excited that Disney is really stepping hard into the space and presenting a showcase for its own IPs. And I imagine that they will be going all out. So are you excited to see this showcase?
So this showcase will be part of the Disney D23 Expo. So that's where they'll host it live from. And we're going to be seeing some really exciting reveals, including stuff from Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I know you guys aren't excited about, but I am. It looks very, very nice. If you like Disney, if you like cute, cozy games, this is definitely going to be up your alley. If you are interested in the game, if you go and Google it, you can actually join the beta or the waiting list to be on the beta to do any testing on the game, which is really cool. They'll also have things from Marvel's Midnight Suns. Also, there's probably new DLC for Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which is, I've really enjoyed that game. And also, there is going to be a sneak peek at an upcoming Marvel ensemble game from Skydance New Media. So, very, very exciting. And that's where Amy Hennig.
Yeah, I believe it's Hennig. Yeah, it's hard to pronounce that one. I feel you.
Yeah, so she the creator of Uncharted. Creator of Uncharted, so she'll be there. Some people are speculating that it will be a Fantastic Four or X-Men or Thunderbolts game. So watch this space, guys. It's going to be a really, really good showcase.
Yeah, I think it's going to be.
If you're wondering what time it's going to be on 4 a.m. Perth time, 6 a.m. Sydney time.
That always happens, doesn't it? It's just ridiculous. I mean, even QuakeCon was on, I think, at 4:30 a.m. or something crazy like that.
Oh wow! You all get the short end of the stick, huh?
Yeah, we do every single time. But it's pretty exciting to see what's coming, because they have stated that they've got quite a few new announcements for games. So Pete, what do you want to see Disney bring out? Would you like to see a third-person action adventure Star Wars game? Do you want to see an open world Star Wars game? Do you want to see some more stuff from Marvel, an X-Men game, a Fantastic Four game? What are you hoping to see?
From Amy Hennig, anything from Amy Hennig will be great for me. She's amazing. The Uncharted series is absolutely fantastic. I know there's a couple of guesses out there. I think a lot of people are guessing the Fantastic Four. That will be interesting to see. Will it be done like Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, where you transfer your character? So basically you play as one character and then you
Yeah.
can use their other abilities, or will it actually be a co-op game? I'd like to see her delve into co-op. I know she's generally writing single-player games, but I think that would be really, really great if you could get the Fantastic Four and have the ability to jump in with your friends. I know there's a couple of other guesses: Daredevil, Ant-Man. Look, I'm always down for a Star Wars game. I can't wait for Survivor to come out. I mean, that game just looks amazing to me. And look, I know there's a lot of, a lot going on in the background with Aspire and Coda. Really, really disappointing. I think that they have now shifted developers. So we're not going to see that game for a while. I really want to see a remake of the MMO Coda that BioWare did. That game is amazing, and I was asking that game to come to console forever, and they said they couldn't do it due to technical difficulties. But I would love that. I would love just to immerse myself fully into the Star Wars universe MMO. That would be a dream for me. And if I could have a second dream, bring back Star Wars 1313, please. Um, that would
Yeah,
be
that
so
looked good.
cool. I mean,
It
I
did
could just
look
keep
good.
going on, really.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian.
Yes, please.
How good would that game
A Mandalorian game would be amazing.
be? I
I
don't think I
Please.
should really get started on Star Wars because I think I'll be here forever. So yeah,
well look, all I can say is that this particular showcase, I think it's the beginning of something that will be exciting year on year. Oh, we're so excited he's gone.
He said he decided to go be a Jedi. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's run away. He's
Yeah, look, I'll go to. I take it to Crispy then. You're botting out a little bit over there, Doomy. So you might have an internet issue. I don't know what's going on there. But Crispy, look, there's obviously this could bring us any number of games from any number of the IPs that they have. What are you hoping to see from Amy Hennig, and what are you hoping to see from the showcase itself?
I mean, it really depends. Is she gonna be like a Uncharted style type game? Like very movie like, or very I don't know. I want to see what it is. I'm not really gonna speculate on that. Can we get a old school arcade style X-Men game again? Can we? Like, I would just love that. I think, retro games right now have kind of come back a little bit. And I mean, as a kid, I could just sit there all day on that arcade machine with the X-Men. And, you got to start introducing some of this X-Men stuff. I mean, and you did Wolverine with Sony, who I doubt they're going to show anything from that. Maybe that's something that, is kind of a little deal that they say, oh, we're showing it here. You never know, but I doubt it. I doubt Sony would allow that. It'd have to be on their stage. So, whatever it's going to be interesting. Star Wars.
Hang on, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Crispy. That's a bit of a thing right there, because Disney, they've got a pretty big swinging dick, man. They can swing that thing around, slap Sony straight in the face, and tell them that they'll be showing their Wolverine game wherever they say.
Mm-hmm.
They get angry about that Spider-Man deal they have,
Yeah.
Like they get a
lot of phallic fascination going on over there, Risky. Yeah.
moving on with the phallics. But what? So you don't think, Crispy, that Disney's got the power to push Sony into showing what they want them to show, where they want them to show it?
They do, but they don't. I mean, Spider-Man's the biggest Marvel character. Yeah, I mean, and right now Sony owns the IP. Oh yeah, absolutely. Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character. They did multiple. They've said this multiple times. So
yeah, by far the biggest.
Yeah. So I mean, they have that. They have that in the bag, and right now, Marvel Disney has really, went into the fact that Spider-Man is a part of this multiverse and really launched them off. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it would be kind of, we don't want to play too much of a game here and just allow it the way it's allowed. Like they showed the teaser for Wolverine on Sony stage, keep it there. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking that, Sony really wants to make this look like it's just theirs, and so far as we know, unless it turns into another topic we have, it is. So, it's an interesting thing. And then, Star Wars, I mean, I'm in and out of love with the games. Some of them are good, like Jedi Fallen Order was really good, and then you have others that just kind of flop. I mean, the 1313 thing that looks so good, and it's like, well, then just call it a Mandalorian. I don't know, change the name, use some of the assets, have a game that's partially built. I mean, you obviously
that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like call it Mandalorian instead, because the brand recognition. I don't know. I'm interested, and hopefully they keep doing it, because they do have so many IP, and they really haven't. It's been hit or miss. Like the Avengers game was kind of a miss. But like Jedi Fallen Order was a hit, so they have the IP there. They just need to find the right balance, and it starts with kind of bringing everybody together and doing something like this, and I think it's cool.
Yeah, they have had quite a few misses over the years. I mean, if you go way back to, the early NES days to Super NES, these IPs never really hit until they started kind of, I think around about the 360, they had a couple of decent ones there. But yeah, that 1313 looked like it was amazing. That was like you're a bounty hunter type dude. That to me looked like an amazing IP. In the Star Wars universe, an amazing game. Sorry, in the Star Wars universe, but not a Jedi type thing. I'd like to see some more of that. Some more Han Solo blasters type stuff. But
Curio asked the question: what Marvel or Disney character would we all want to see get their own game?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that in myself. We also had another question from my brother Reblos.
Absolutely, I've put these questions aside, guys, and when I switch topics, I will jump onto those questions if it's not related to the topic that we're on, but that one is. So look, guys, if you do have a question, type question in the chat before or inside the comment, and it will highlight it to me, and then I'll be able to easily see it. I'll grab it, I'll stick it aside, and when I get a chance, I'll definitely ask the panel. But I personally, I'd like to see a Spider-Man. No, only kidding. We've already got one.
Wow.
I don't want to see
see Insomniac Spider-Man on Xbox. Yeah.
What I want to see. Oh, we'll get to that. We will get to that. What I want to see is it's not Marvel. I want to see a Judge Dredd, man. I've had a thing for Judge Dredd. So I guess in lieu of that, the closest thing would be Punisher. Love to see a Punisher game, and I'd love to see it as an Xbox exclusive. Crispy, we'll stay with you and see what you would like to see, and then we'll move around to the panel.
You know what I would like to see, and it's kind of weird because I just really got introduced to this character, a Shang-Chi game. I think that would be really cool.
Yes.
With the rings and like all the stuff he could do with them. But it seems more logical. It seems like they could have like good physics in there with that type of weapon and power. So I think that would be really cool.
Sorry, Mr. Bushido, what happened to getting rid of Umbra?
We don't need to address that question. That's not a real question.
We're working on it, Bushido. We'll get there. We'll go to Umbra. What would you like to see, mate? A Marvel or Disney IP character?
Well, if it's Marvel, X-Men, I've been saying it for years. Microsoft should have, in my opinion, going for the X-Men license. And now that they actually have the ABK thing that's about to be situated, who better than to make another X-Men game than Raven Software? X-Men Legends was legendary, so why not get them to do that? Or if you want to go into the more of the third-person action over the shoulder, whatever kind of take for it. I mean, they have so many studios that could do that as well. I can imagine, like somebody like a Ninja Theory working on something, let's say maybe, I don't know, a Blade game or something like that.
Oh, Blade game. Good call.
Yeah. You just stole mine, mate. You can't choose more than one.
I read your mind.
We said what?
I'll do that. Yeah, if it was Marvel, if it was Marvel for me, it'd be X-Men. If it was Disney, absolutely, I agree. I co-sign the Mandalorian. To me, it's just common sense. I mean, it's big right now. It's big into the lexicon of media and what's the word I'm looking for? It's a household name now. The Mandalorian is beloved. So get something like that, and I think that's been Microsoft's issue. Has been part of the issue, not getting these IP or licenses that register to the household, to the common man, like a Spider-Man does. Spider-Man is the most well-known character in the world. There's a reason why.
Strange, isn't it, Umbra,
Yeah.
how they have actually really been staying away from getting big IPs.
Yeah,
Makes
it's
no
been
sense
very
to me.
weird.
Yeah.
It's been very weird, and I don't know why they keep doing it. And to me, I've said this even on the Xbox Factor with Boom. I said it seems to me that it's common sense for us, where we'll be like, yeah, they should do this obvious thing. Now, that's not to say that we know better than some multi-trillion or billion-dollar company, right? But it's to say, as far as gaming, I think Microsoft kind of misses the boat at times when they should be on it. And to me, they kind of missed the boat when it comes to getting these licenses that would absolutely help carry Xbox, I think, into a new stratosphere. So yeah, absolutely. Something like the Mandalorian, I would all be 100% down for. I do co-sign bringing back 13, or as Risky says, 13.
That is not
Oh
how
my
it sounds.
God.
I do not sound like
13. He says 13. I was like, what's that?
Wow.
He's been working on his Aussie accent. He's not doing a very good. He'll get there. We'll give him
Hold
time.
on,
I feel like it was getting better and now it's gotten
Getting
a bit
worse.
worse. I don't know what's
Hold
going on.
Let me. That's the COVID mess. Yeah, I mean, like they had Star Wars 13, coming out.
That's
There we go.
better. It's getting better.
That was my
Look,
goofy version right there.
Young in the chat, absolutely. I would love to see them do a Punisher in the vein of Max Payne. That'd be cool with a bit of bullet time going on. I would love that. Pete, what would you like to see for a new Marvel character come to life? Let's say coming to Xbox. What would you like to see? Xbox grab a hold of and run with.
Well, Umbra stole mine because I want to see Blade.
Aw.
So look, but there are so many. I mean, and it depends on what type
I
of
have
game.
one.
I'd love to see a Hawkeye game, a Punisher game. I wouldn't mind seeing a Doctor Strange game. I think that could be done really, really well.
Not too many. Don't go too many. You're stealing Doom cuties, probably.
I'll put
No one
more
will
down.
pick this one.
I'll go Black Panther because it is very apt right now. The movie's coming out,
Hell
and I
yeah.
think that could be
That'd be
done
a good
awesome.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
Oh, good
Cutie's
one.
gonna name Squirrel Girl or something, aren't you?
Fury 7-6,
Yeah,
Ghost
that's what I was about to say.
Rider. Love it, mate.
Furry 7-6 Ghost Rider. That is a good call, man. That's
Yeah, that'd
could,
be good.
Could like have a GTA style kind of motorbike type combat, road rash type combat with that'd be amazing.
Road
Cutie,
rash combat.
Cutie, what's your what's your pick?
Okay, so obviously, if there was a Mandalorian game, clearly that is what I would love. But thinking along the lines of the success of Scarlet Witch, and sort of coming off what Umbra was talking about in regards to X-Men, I would love a Mystique game.
Oh,
I think we are due for an anti-heroine story. I think because originally in the comic, the Scarlet Witch is part of the.
I just want to say
Brotherhood.
before you continue, we are anti-drugs, so we are already anti-heroin here on Xbox Infinite. Please
Speak for yourself.
do continue, Cutie. So
That's a good pick, by the way, Cutie. You surprised
Yeah, no.
me.
So she had her own Brotherhood of Mutants, and Scarlet Witch was a part of that. So I feel like, I think her story and also her powers would translate really well in game. Also, her combat style, which is very assassinations. I think that would be a really good choice. And I think if someone could pick up that story and bring it to life in game, I think lots of people would jump on board with that. And hey, you get to stare at a hot chick for a long time, yeah?
absolutely, I
Plus,
love
she can
staring at hot
transfer
chicks.
herself and look like other hot chicks.
Just
So
sold me,
yeah.
Doobie. Just sold me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
she can
Put it
change
on
her
the
face
cover.
to look like other fine chicks as well. So that's a good pick right there. I like that idea.
All right. Well,
By the
move on.
way, the chat is naming a bunch of great names, by the way, from Spawn up to Blue Marvel to X-Force. By the way, I love the X-Force idea. I actually mentioned that on Boom show too, Cozy. It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah,
And,
even a Black
Punisher,
Adam.
obviously.
Black Adam game would be awesome. I don't know if that's Marvel
Yeah.
DC, but
That's
but-
DC. But
yeah.
that'll be dope too.
yeah,
How
man.
about Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck would be awesome as well. You could do that really well, man. I'm telling you, that's
Only if Crispy, only if they use the old school music from
Yeah.
the movie.
That-
Hey, young Kiri knows what's up.
Yeah, there is
Let's go.
some awesome IP, but Howard the Duck's actually one of the first comics they tackled Marvel, so that's crazy. I learned that the other day doing the Xbox Rewards quiz. Moving on to our next topic, but before I do, guys, if you have not hit that like button, please smash the shit out of it right now. And if you're new here, hit your subscribe button, share it out, tell your grandma about it. She would love to hear us talk about games. I'm absolutely sure of it. Trust me. We're moving on to the next topic. QuakeCon happened, and wow, there wasn't really a whole lot there for me, to be honest. The Redfall stuff was cool. I kind of enjoyed that. But I mean, and they told us that that ID is, it's making another game. Well, I didn't know that. Like, thank you. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there for me. I wasn't super excited by it. And chat, look, guys, jump in on this one because I want to know if you were excited by anything that happened at QuakeCon. But in that entire stream, I don't know how long it went for. It went for hours and hours and hours on end. The only thing that I pulled out of it was this. The Redfall stuff was quite interesting and cool. But other than that, there wasn't a whole lot there to get excited about. Pete, you watched this with, I believe, Xbox Obi. What were your thoughts on the thing itself?
I thought it was just okay. I watched it with Wolf and Obi, and Wolf fell asleep. So, that kind of says how interesting it actually was. I like the look of Redfall. I didn't really need to see any more of Redfall. Basically, all that did was just make me want to play the game even more, to be honest. I did like how they showed the characters more in depth, and I'm even more confused now to which character I'm going to prick. I mean, the only one I...
Hang on a minute, you're gonna prick a character. What?
The only one that I don't want to pick is Layla. I don't like her story arc, how she is just coming out of college. That just doesn't resonate with me. But out of the other three, I mean, I can't pick. Jacob looks really, really cool with his bird, and he's obviously going to be a sniper character, and he's got a dead eye, and I think I learned too much. I think they told us too much. I think they said that he was actually a baddie, and then he's a bad guy turned good guy. I didn't need to know that. I would have actually preferred to see that in the actual game, other than learning about it at, QuakeCon. Remy looks really, really cool because of that little robot dog that she's got. Like, I love that. You guys all know about Jedi, so any character with a dog, even if it's a robot dog, is absolutely awesome to me. And Devinder, he just looks really wacky, and I love how he can use his, his stake gun. And he just seems like a really different character. So, yeah, awesome. Can't wait to play that game. Don't know which character I'm going to pick. And no, Mr. Bushido, I did not say prick. I said pick.
He definitely said prick. I heard it. You all heard it. We'll play it back later on. Moving on, Crispy. Look, did you get a chance to watch this QuakeCon? And did you get much out of it? Because I personally it was very meh. I mean, I love the Redfall stuff. Thought it was great. But that was it. That was all that was there, I think, for most gamers. What about yourself?
All I watched was the Redfall stuff, and people falling asleep. That's exactly why I don't watch some of these anymore. Like if it's like an Xbox showcase or PlayStation, sure, I'll sit down. I'll even do we'll talk about it right after, stuff like that. But like QuakeCon, it could be hit or miss. I mean, is id just making another Doom? Probably. I mean, Eternal is an incredible game. You know what I mean? And it sold pretty darn well. So I wouldn't doubt that they're, making an even better looking Doom if that's possible. So yeah, the Redfall, I mean, yeah, it just makes me want to play the game more and wish it was coming out this year. So stop rubbing it in our faces. Okay. Let's get a little closer and you don't delay it again. And then I'll find acceptance in this, and you have a release date and the exact day, and you're like a couple weeks before it, so you get everybody hyped. Stop it with this, because you look like the game could release. You understand what I'm saying? So I say, after this Redfall, you go quiet, okay? because you're getting me want to play the game too much. So that's about all my take from it. Is Redfall just looks like a great co-op game that is gonna be a lot of fun with friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head. It does look ready for release. It looks like it's polished, but I mean, I guess we're only seeing vertical slices of things. But they are talking about it like it's developed. When they were talking about it, like it's done. Like, so I imagine they're just squashing bugs and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I agreed. I mean, that was its purpose, that they want to get you to want to play the game. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, stop showing us this stuff we can't play yet. Umbra, what was your take on the whole?
Mission accomplished. Yeah, mission accomplished. Though I mean, they showed 20+ minutes of that, and one thing that I took away from it is the polish, like you said, but like how clean it looks. I don't know if anybody else saw that. It just looks really solid, right? It looks really clean. And think about when we had those leaks. I don't know if you all remember seeing the leaks. They had the leaked images. It looked trash. Yeah. You remember how terrible it looked?
Mm-hmm.
And you see that till now, and it's very clear that was some really obvious early alpha footage. So it is good to see that, Arcane is, still who we thought they were. They great developers. So it looks solid, man. I'm actually really excited for it. And this is crazy because even before the showcase, as me and Pete talked about on the show, we were like, but after seeing it at the showcase, it turned my whole thought process around, and seeing what we saw the other day at the QuakeCon, absolutely, it looks really, really solid. As far as QuakeCon itself, they didn't really do anything for me. It was like, nothing. Like literally, I tuned out after a second because it was just nothing outside of Redfall. But one thing I did like that they added, obviously, were the free titles, on the Microsoft Store, but all PC, of course. But I have a gaming PC, so that works for me. So they got the Elder Scrolls Arena, Daggerfall, Quake Champions, Heretic, Serpent Riders, Hexen, stuff like that, all coming to the store.
Added Daggerfall to PC. And they're not bringing it to console. That just hurts.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I don't know if you all saw, by the way, just to throw it out there because it's Bethesda related. They had there's a rumor supposedly that Bethesda, I believe Jez Corden spoke on earlier. He during their podcast, Xbox 2 podcast with him and Rand, that they are working on. Let me read this properly since I have it here. They are. Bear with me. Got my old man glasses on. That Blizzard has this. Not that's the wrong one. Oops.
Lizard.
Not Blizzard. Yeah. Wrong one. It was something I can't find it, but it was basically Bethesda is going to have an old studio. Excuse me. They're going to have a new studio that they're trying to acquire to work on bringing back older games and remastering and remaking them, which I love the idea of, by the way. I think Xbox, by the way, that's another boat that I think they kind of missed out on that Sony capitalizes on.
Yes, but will they be $70?
Well, they won't. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. They won't, because that's the beauty of Game Pass. So, but they are working on, supposedly, that's the rumor from Jez, is that they are working on buying or acquiring another studio specifically with the intent to remake and remaster older games. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Elder Scrolls Oblivion is on my Mount Rushmore of games. I would absolutely buy, not even just get played on Game Pass. I would absolutely buy Elder Scrolls Oblivion if it was remastered or remade rather. And that will probably, no, I still won't pay $70 for a game, but I will use my Microsoft rewards points and buy the game.
Well,
for $70.
What about The Witcher 4, Umbra? Would you pay $70 for The Witcher 4?
I won't.
No.
It's only one game that will probably franchise that would ever actually get me to do that, and I'll still find a way to community fund that extra $10 would be Halo. But even Halo, I wouldn't do it for. I just think
we know that
this is
all lies because Xbox gamers do not buy games, so we know that this is not true. So we'll move to Cutie. Cutie, look, getting back to the QuakeCon. I know that you also have a gaming PC, which you've recently got, and enjoy. And I kind of need one. I need to work on that. But Cutie, what did you think of Redfall?
Sorry.
You're good.
Redfall. it does look great. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic drop when it does drop. I just hope that it doesn't get in the basket of delays like we've had quite a bit lately.
No, it's already there. It's already there.
Yeah, I know, but again, you know what I mean. Yeah, look, QuakeCon has a different vibe compared to the other showcases. You know, a lot of it's all digital. They do have a lot of online interaction. On Twitch, they were, you know, that they were getting the chat to interact with their different charities and things like that. And it was very heavily Bethesda based.
I didn't mind the charity thing. I liked the t-shirts. What was it? Ghost Whiskers and Poor Days or something. That was pretty cool. Yeah,
so I think there was just a lot going on for me anyway, and I think that's probably why some people weren't really like grabbed by it at first, and then they might have tuned out, or like some people fallen asleep. Yeah, look, you know, the Game Pass drops the PC Game Pass drops are good. I mean, I don't play Elder Scrolls, so you know, I think it would be exciting for some people, but it's not massive and major. I think it's just okay, I think.
And is it okay to be just okay? I don't know. It seems to be the way that these you know, showcases, conventions sort of stuff is kind of leaning towards that. Just okay is just good enough. Like, yeah. I mean, it's been
like,
a rough
I don't
year.
know. I felt like we didn't need a whole stream on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just feel. I don't know. Did we need a massive thing about it? I don't know. It feels unnecessary. It feels like you know, when you go to a staff meeting and then like you're like, oh, this could have been an email. Kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. It could have been a Twitter post. I completely agree with it, and I think that most people who stuck around for QuakeCon would probably feel the same. Yeah.
I don't know that pillow, that QuakeCon pillow.
Oh my God! Absolute fire! Yeah, no. Look, it was a bit disappointing. I've yet to see a showcase this year that's wowed my socks off, and I want one. Like, so, you know, I'm just being
watch the Disney one.
Yeah, I
don't look like a hemorrhoids pillow at all.
I'm hoping that the Disney one, cutie, is going to be the one. If you guys have just tuned in, please hit that like button. We are moving on to the next topic, which is a spicy take topic, and it was amazing to watch this develop through the week. And if you are new, please hit the subscribe button, because we go live every week, 8 p.m. EST if you are in the US, and at 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
On subscribing, Risket, we're 601 subscribers now, which is awesome. We're 400 away from being able to have super chats. So
yay!
Let's get it done, people. Let's get it done.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely amazing. And yeah, look, I'm not super worried about super chats. We've got our questions. So if you do have a question, please type question into your chat and I will get to them. And guys, the questions that you guys have asked, Toolman, Hund, and Rebellios, I will get to your questions as we go through the podcast. Look, this one we have to get straight to this one. This one's awesome. Death Stranding's coming to Xbox. It's not coming to Xbox. It's coming to PC Game Pass, which is basically Xbox. I've heard some extremely interesting takes on this over the week, and there is a little bit of anger in one side of the community over this, taking my exclusives. Look, I think this is.
I bet you'll never guess which side's angry.
Yeah.
I bet you'll never guess which side is angry.
They're always angry, these guys. They're not having a good generation. Let's be fair. Look, this is unexpected. I would never have seen this coming. But I think it's indicative, and it shows you what Xbox is trying to achieve, and that is not to piss Sony off. But I think they don't care if they do. You can see what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to bring in absolutely everything they can, and they are focusing on their PC as much as they are focusing on Xbox, which we didn't see last generation. And I think this is a really good thing. Now, I'm going to couple this in with just think about this as well. They've started adding mouse and keyboard support for the cloud. That's coming like very, very soon. So now when you think about that's starting to give console players, because they did say it's not coming now, but they said yet. This is starting to work towards console players being able to access any games anywhere, and that includes PC Game Pass, because at the moment we can't. Now, imagine that they get that done in the next 6 months, and you've got Death Stranding on your Xbox. That it's absolutely craziness. Just something I would never have thought to see. And so now I am absolutely sure we're going to get Spider-Man. No, I'm kidding. We're probably not going to get Spider-Man. But this is craziness. There's a lot. It seems like there's nothing that they can't do or get done, Xbox. And I'm loving this generation. And this was great to see. I'm not interested in playing Death Stranding. If I want to deliver packages, I'll go get a job and get paid for it. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that are going to be pretty excited to play this. Umbra, is this something that you're going to jump into very, very soon? I do know you have the game.
Yeah, I bought the game some time back. They had a sale going on. I think Epic Store was where I bought it. I haven't touched that thing yet, and I have no motivation to touch the game. I'm just going to be honest with you. I will say I'm very interested. I'm almost like wondering if I'll just get it through PC and play it on my PC from Game Pass and actually get the achievements. I might just do that since I'm an achievement hunter. So that will be a good motivation for me to try it that way. That would actually motivate me a bit to do it, I'll be honest. But other than that, I think a lot of the tears that I accumulated on my tweet today absolutely motivated me enough to see this. Yeah, it motivated me enough to see this and laugh about the things that I've been seeing, because I don't know if you all have been seeing the copium today, but man, I'm talking about people going to Hideo Kojima and calling him a traitor, to, hitting up some of my ES buddies and having back and forth DMs with them and describing how Kojima has betrayed them. It is really, really ridiculous out there today. I don't know what else to say. And listen, I'll be fair. I'll say there have been a lot of Xbox fanboys, fangirls who derided the game and are now like, oh yeah, it's coming to Game Pass, PC Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, PC. So to be fair, it's on both sides of it. But the Xbox gamers had to use this. It was going to happen. It had to. And PlayStation guys would do it too if it was Xbox game or a previous Xbox game coming to PlayStation or something like that. And this is part of the issue, because it's part of the toxicity in general has been generated, I think. And I don't know if I'm biased in saying this, but I think a lot of that stemmed from PlayStation guys in general over the past, few gens, especially the Xbox One gen, talking about how Xbox has no games because they were going to PC. And now look at the turnaround where Sony has realized it is lucrative to put their games on PC. So now PlayStation is losing its exclusives as far as that goes. So now their narratives have hurt them. It's come back to hurt them, and that's why they're having so much excess of copium right now. It's delicious, I will say. It's very tasty. I season my food with it, with their tears. but it's just funny, man.
What's
it's
your
just funny all
cholesterol
around.
with that salt?
Oh yeah, I got to be careful. I try to balance it out, balance meals with it. But yeah, it's funny just to see that it's happening. I'm interested in finding out, because I was confused at how it worked. Seeing as 505, I know Games publishes it on PC versus PlayStation doing what they do on the console, but Sony actually owns that IP. So it's just a little confusing as far as how that works.
Yeah,
I mean, especially us knowing how Sony is.
Did they want it to come to PC Game Pass? Is there some sort of loophole? Like, there's not been much on how this happened. Like, did they just let Kojima go ahead with it because it's Kojima? Because they honestly, let's be honest, everyone lets that dude just do whatever the hell he wants. So I mean that might be there as well. It's really you make a good point.
What Paliscard just said. Thank you, mate. Yeah, Riskit put a lot of work into that logo, guys. Top right hand corner. So yeah, give it some love for it.
little self promotion from Palace Guard right there. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it wasn't actually me who did the logo. It was a lot of back and forthing over time until we messed around with it. But yeah, Palace Guard, it is an amazing logo, and I do love it. That is who we know as either Casual Game or Squirrelbot, or now Zathrid the Demon Hunter. Your mum's amazing. She did a great logo, and I appreciate.
I thought that was going to go a different road, but anyway.
No, it's his mum who did the logo, and she's.
Right.
She
Did you at least treat her to a nice dinner? Risk it.
No,
we're not going to talk about people's mums on the show, except to be positive and say she did a great logo. We'll do the mum talking off air.
She did. By the way, just to throw this out there, she redid my logo in an HD format for me and sharpened it up and everything for free. Just to throw that out there, by the way. So yes, his mother is actually dope. Yes, she's a great
fantastic.
Person. She is amazing. Look, Cutie, I'll jump over to you. Is this something that you were looking forward to play? Look, I'll be honest, man. I've been extremely hard on Death Stranding, and I ain't going to change my stance at the moment. It's a UPS simulator. I don't want to deliver packages. I don't want to do that in my gaming. I don't want to wait 3 hours for the game to get good. So, Cutie, what are your thoughts on Death Stranding coming to PC Game Pass? It is fun to see the fanboys cry a little bit, I'll be honest, but it's not something I'm going to play.
I don't know. Do you think this is like Phil Spencer just being like, I'm going to just do this and see what happens? Like, do you think, like, it came out of nowhere, and obviously we're not insiders to Xbox, but I do know some people who were like, oh yeah, finally I can talk about this. So it obviously it wasn't a surprise to some people, but look, I don't know. I don't know if I'll play it, to be honest, because I don't often play my Game Pass on my PC, if that makes sense. Because I have an Xbox Series X, like I would just play it on there. And some people are going to like it, and it'll make people want to try it and give it a second chance. And I know a couple of people said that in the chat as well. I think it's interesting to read people's perspectives and just to see how much people are sort of flip flopping and all of a sudden changing their mind, because when this game was released, a lot of PlayStation people were celebrating it quite hard, and celebrating it being an exclusive, especially. So having this happen, and I spoke about it on Gamers Initiative this morning already, and it's very interesting to see how people are reacting.
You wouldn't have expected. I just wouldn't. I didn't wake up in the morning thinking, "Wow, Death Stranding's coming to PC Game Pass." That's I just
no.
Yeah.
It's not predicted. Although I did see their post on Twitter, and there is definitely a spider in the back of that sticker on that suitcase. Have you seen it?
Yep, it is. That's the Spider-Man logo. It absolutely is the Spider-Man logo.
It is.
But they say it's from the game, though, so I guess it's like, not DLC, but it's like content that obviously cross references.
But come on, how many eyes were on that to make that post? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if that was something Microsoft side did.
I don't know.
No, absolutely, it's definitely Microsoft. They don't post shit on their tweets or change their logos. It doesn't happen by accident. This stuff gets vetted, looked at 3 to 10 times before they post it. They know exactly what they were doing. And I'm going to ask
it's from the game. It's definitely from the game. I'm just like, very clear that they wanted to put that out there.
Absolutely.
And it could be them alluding to something in the future.
I don't know.
I don't know about
Reblos made a good point.
It's from the game.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not saying that it's Spider-Man's coming to this. Not what I'm saying, but I think I think that from this recent ABK and Crispy, I'm going to go to you about this because this is a topic I think that you're going to love. think it's them taking a shot. I think this is the Microsoft that we wanted to see. We've all been saying
so,
it. We would like to see Microsoft get aggressive, punch back to PlayStation. And I think, this publicly PlayStation coming out and taking their shot at the ABK deal, it might have been going on behind closed doors, but Microsoft doesn't want to seem weak like Sony seemed weak when they took their shot. So, Crispy, do you think?
I'll say I don't think it's necessarily a shot risk outside of them actually probably being a little tongue in cheek, right?
Mhm.
That's what I think. And just to say it before Crispy goes, Rebelo's made a good point where he says Death Stranding may be a test to gauge Game Pass more, like for games to come from that. I'm interested in seeing if that might be the case too.
I
Please
just
go ahead.
don't see Spider-Man happening. But Crispy, do you think this is Microsoft getting a little bit more, well, cheeky, if you like, tongue-in-cheek? Yeah. But do you think this is them starting to take a few little underhanded shots at PlayStation? You love to see it.
I feel like I'm like, you look at Phil Spencer and now he has like this little devil that floats about him with the horns. It's the same person, just his evil twin, and he goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there. He's just sitting there like, we've set you up now, didn't we? Just from this alone, and some of these people, like I feel bad because they're crying so much on Twitter. I mean, it's
No,
like they're
don't.
crying.
You don't feel bad
They
at
are
all.
really. They are literally crying, and I have screenshots of these people either hyping up this game, now they're saying it's trash, or, laughing at people because, they got to play Deathloop before we did, and all this stuff. And
People that are saying that Kojima is a traitor.
yeah, I mean, like,
Wow.
dude,
No,
it is a
Kojima
damn
is-
game.
Yeah. It's business. It's just business, guys. It's not.
By the way, I played some hours of this game because I caught so much heat because I was talking shit about it and I didn't play it. I played enough of the game in the beginning to say, no, I can't do this. It is not a game for me. Apparently, if you get a certain amount of hours in, it starts getting decent. But it's like, dude, I almost fell asleep playing a video game. That's not cool. Okay, it's just not. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally just running and all the, like, if you go downhill the wrong way, you end up rolling down it. I was just like, no, I can't do it. So for me, no, I don't even have a rig that could play this darn game anyway. So, I have a nice little laptop. That's all I need. I play on my Series X, the Tower of Power. If it comes to actual Game Pass down the road, which would be another good laugh, maybe I give it a second shot with the DLC and all that, but I highly doubt it. It's a game that, people are going to love it or hate it. And, clearly there's a reason that it's in PC Game Pass. Maybe Sony's actually trying to get money from it. You know what I mean? So the Spider-Man thing, you never know. And that's where we go and say, when you were saying Marvel's got the swinging dong, all right, do they have that much enough? Because they do not own the IP of Spider-Man. Sony doesn't on gaming. Okay. Marvel owns the gaming rights
Yeah.
to
Yep.
Spider-Man. So, could they pull an MLB on them and make them bring it over to Xbox?
Argy just mentioned it in the chat.
Well,
That would
Can
be
you imagine?
something. I think
Can you imagine?
if we saw them lose their minds now, just
Oh, man.
imagine that. Because I already had seen some that were it just going to PC, they're losing their minds. So now what do you, and it's like, dude, and this is where I go and say, like, if you really feel that way about a plastic box, go talk to somebody. And I'm being dead serious because some of you guys are saying bomb threats and stuff like that. You need to go and talk to somebody, child or not. I mean, some of these people I think are, like teenagers or something.
Mm-hmm.
There are better things to do than sit on Twitter and cry about a game going to another console. If you told me tomorrow that Gears of War was on PlayStation, I say, good, go enjoy it. So that's the way you have to think about it. It's not just sitting here, oh, we're holding this here. I hate it. And I think one day it's going to be, you're going to have PlayStation Studios on Xbox and you're going to have Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation. It'll happen hopefully within my lifetime. And then y'all can just shut up.
Yeah, I mean,
what I find interesting as well is basically all the people that are crying, all these people that are crying on Twitter. It's like they're blaming Xbox players. It's like, we did it. It's like we were all in on it. We all knew about it, and we didn't say anything, and we're doing it just to mess with them. But yes, you're right. Your sentiments. I completely agree with Crispy.
Look, I would be hesitant to say that we'll see Xbox on Game Pass on Sony on PlayStation. No, and I'd be pretty hesitant to say that we'll see PlayStation Studios games on Xbox, but we already have. And then if you look at the Sega Nintendo generation, man, look at what happened there, like how that turned around. And then you've got Nintendo publishing Sega's greatest hits on their platform now. So anything is possible, Pete. I know that you stay off Twitter, but you would have heard us talking, laughing, giggling about this. What are your thoughts on the future of maybe Sony bringing some of their exclusives to Xbox Game Pass or to PC Game Pass? And are you interested in playing Death Stranding and delivering hundreds of packages a day and waiting 5 hours for the game to get good?
Honestly, I want to look at it from a little bit of a different perspective. So I want to look at it from, does Microsoft believe in why they were given so much money to buy Activision Blizzard King and investing in all these studios? You can only sell a certain amount of consoles. So to hit that 100 million figure of subscribers, Game Pass subscribers, a lot of that is going to have to come from PC. And then you've also got the cloud side of things as well. So I just think that this is a push for that. And I think Young brought it up brilliantly in the chat, that it's a chance to see how many people that they can get into PC Game Pass. And this is a great game to try it out with. In terms of all the console fanboy nonsense, I really just try to stay away from all that garbage. I think it's ridiculous. Crispy said it perfectly before, when you really do need to speak to someone if you're living on Twitter talking about that stuff. These people don't care about you. They care about money. Kojima just brought out his brand new studio, Kojima Productions. It's all about him making money for his brand new business. And the more eyeballs he gets on his game, the more people that buy his game, the better for him and his new studios. And you know what? The better games he's going to produce in the future. So, yeah, really interesting times. I don't like to see anybody upset, but if they're getting upset over this, there's something wrong with them in the first place.
That much is true. I speaking of Kojima though, like, I got love for Kojima. I know a lot of people don't really care for him. He's hit or miss for some people, and I get why, because he has a very unique style of storytelling, and sometimes it's a little hammy. Right. But I really hope that whatever experimental game he's working on for Xbox is not something like silly. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I say that because I'm not so happy with the premise of Death Stranding. I never have been. I do want to give it a chance before writing it off and actually playing it myself. I look at Boba and he put in 30 hours and it still did nothing for him. I hope that's not me. I hope that doesn't happen. And when I've talked about it, and as Risk had alluded when he said it takes 5 hours to get into the story, that's what we were told. We were in a party, not a party, excuse me. We were in space, and we talked with, like Aaron and people like that, and they were like, "Yeah, it takes like 5 hours." I'm like, 5 hours? If a game takes 5 hours before it gets to the story, I've already lost interest. I don't think I'll be playing it that long to even get to 5 hours. So I hope that's not the case. But a lot of times,
that's one of the main mistakes of entertainment, isn't it, Umbra?
This
is why movies have those really impactful opening sequences.
Yeah,
draw you.
You gotta grab that attention quick.
Yep.
And that beautiful Decima engine is only going to get me so far. I know a lot of PlayStation guys, by the way, are very enticed by graphics. I've seen people actually put graphics over gameplay, and that's just wild to me to see. By the way, to see them put that over anything else. Graphics is not the be all end all. Don't get me wrong. I do love graphics.
You can only take so many photos in game.
Yeah, well, you'll be surprised how many PlayStation guys I've seen.
You guys haven't seen my folder. You guys would be absolutely blown away by how many photos I've taken.
I think it's offensive. Was the word.
It's offensive, actually, how many in-game photos I've taken. But, that's something that I really enjoy about games. Although Death Stranding is, like, it looks like a it looks like a beautiful game. But Kojima's a storyteller, and
He's a long storyteller, like a long story.
And a weird storyteller at times. Let's just be real. Like I love, but like AGH said in his chat, I love the Metal Gear games too. But they are weird. Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after a minute, if you play them, it's like, what?
There's an unborn fetus on the cover. Of course, it's going to be weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it looked weird from the very, very start. But look, we'll move on. This is absolutely craziness. I never thought I would see this. This is just unprecedented. And I would like to hear. I can't wait to see in 10 years or 20 years, see another Xbox documentary, if I'm still around, talking about how this all went down, because that will be super interesting to me. But look, I'm going to get to the questions that Rebellios asked, Hund as well, and Tillman55. We'll go through those real quick, and then we'll jump. We'll jump back to the topics. Rebellious, do you think Age of Empires is coming back to Gamescom? Means the Xbox port is ready, and Umbra will 1v1 you when it's out. Listen. Who doesn't want to play with trebuchets? Now, look, I do think that they've got to be close, right? Because all they really need to do is you're basically working with the PC. You've just got to make it fit the architecture and add control support. So I think it's pretty damn close, and I was surprised not to see it at the showcase. So I'm hoping, but I don't think Gamescom is where it's going to be, man. What about you guys?
Yeah, for me, I've never played any Age of Empire games, and that's why I was telling Rebels, like, yeah, you destroy me. There's no need for me to go 1v1. I can tell you right now, I'll lose. I don't know how to operate those damn trebuchets, but I don't know, man. I'm excited for the idea that more games will get mouse and keyboard support. I don't know why Microsoft isn't pushing it as hard as I thought they would be, seeing how they have such cross-pollination on so many things. And they should be. I mean, let's just be real. And if they're not going to do so by the time this ABK situation is situated and they have WoW there, it's like, what are you doing? You have Diablo and WoW, and of course, Age of Empires and such, and you're not. And what was the other one that's coming out right now? I think it's releasing into Game Pass. What is it? Human Civilization, whatever it is.
Yeah, Humankind.
And it's like, why are you not pushing keyboard and mouse support? It should be something that they have a team on right now, working hard on getting taken care of before this year is out. In my opinion, I don't understand why they're not
know how to operate the trebuchet Umbra, but you'll definitely learn the history of it, brother.
Yeah, but look, this is the thing.
That, by the way, annoyed the hell out of me when they did that. I'm going to say that when they showed that on that show, I know I wasn't the only one that was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a weird moment, but I do love history stuff. So for me, I was like, this is weird. It's a gaming showcase, but whatever. But look, I agree with what you're saying, Umbra, that they seem to have a mandate where they will not bring games to Xbox unless they have controller support, and we know that that's a factual mandate. But I don't see the issue with it, man. If you just put a little logo or something up at the corner that says this game does not yet have controller support, and you must play it with a mouse and keyboard. Plenty of us do have a mouse and keyboard. We can play our games on the Xbox. So yeah, I see what you're saying there. That is amazing. Look, I'm going to move quickly through these.
If that's the limiter of games coming to console, then just do it. If that's the only thing that's stopping these games from coming to console, just do it. I would rather play with mouse and keyboard than not play at all.
Yeah,
we have PC Game Pass though, so it's like, well, just put it on there.
Yeah,
like,
but that's the thing, though.
On Doomy, and this is what I'm worried about as well. I am a console gamer. I don't game on my PC. I don't want games that are only going to be specifically coming to PC Game Pass. If they're coming to Game Pass, I want them to come to Game Pass, both Game Passes, because otherwise I feel like I'm missing out on something, and I don't want to feel that way.
Agree.
I don't want it to be a two-tiered system.
Yeah,
I think that would be 100%. A very big mistake.
Yeah, but I also I would feel weird with a keyboard and a mouse at my TV.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't at all. I've got a mouse and a keyboard hooked up, and I play Gears Tactics with mouse and keyboard, and I'm quite happy to sit there with my mouse and keyboard and play Age of Empires. I don't have a gaming PC. I've got a PC that does some crazy stuff, but I've got a Mac, and it doesn't have games on it, and I am missing out, and I want Age of Empires, and if it is, like Pete said, just the keyboard and mouse that's holding it back, they need to stop that bullshit and just let us have it. It might be on PC Game Pass, but we can't access that on the console. But I do think that they are working towards that. I think that is in the works, Pete, from what we've seen with what they're doing with mouse and keyboard and cloud. So hopefully you'll at least be able to play on your TV, through the cloud, or play on your computer through the cloud if it's not capable of running those games.
I've seen people, by the way, using that as a negative for Game Pass, saying that it's a two-tier kind of thing. So I agree with Pete 100% there. As a matter of fact, Palace Guard, aka Casual, aka Zarthid, or whatever the hell you say his name, he actually talks about that often, much to my chagrin. He talks about how, PC Game Pass is getting this, and I don't need the console. That should not be the case. I agree 100%. They need to work around that. That's part of why I'm saying they need to have the team on that immediately. As much as they need to get the DVR situation situated, that needs to be one of the top priorities as well.
Yeah, that should be
keyboard and mouse support done. 100%.
Should be top priority. That should be top priority. That shouldn't even be behind. DVR is just the thing that I want, so I can take awesome videos and post them on Twitter and make people really salty about it. It's weird, eh? You just post some gameplay and people get angry. Anyway, moving on. If you guys have a question, please type question into your comment and we will get to them. Maybe not straight away, but I do pick them up and save them on the side. And so when I get a chance, we do jump to them. Hund asked, what do you all think of the new Discord stuff coming to Xbox? I am not going to go to the panel on this one. I'm just going to really quickly say, Hund, I think everyone thinks it's a great thing. We all know Discord has absolutely awesome quality. It's how I power this show, as well as you guys. Discord powers it. And, the sound quality is amazing. The amount of people you can have in is amazing. And it just promotes crossplay and a much more seamless crossplay. So there's nothing bad about Discord coming to Xbox. It is funny that we got it before Sony, even though Sony announced it beforehand. Toolman55, what are the 5 things you love about the Xbox and the Xbox community? Dude, I'm going to cut your question down to one of each and go to the panel. Otherwise, we'll be here for a good hour on that. I'm going to say, Toolman55, the one thing I love about my Xbox, or Xbox in general, the company itself, is its consumer friendliness. I've never played so many games, so many different types of games, and all of that is because of Game Pass. Until probably, say, 3-4, probably about 5 years ago, I was primarily a Battlefield gamer. That would be the game that I would buy every year, like the casuals, and I would play the shit out of that game, and I'd maybe get 1 or 2 other games, and that'd be it. That'd be all I play, and Game Pass has changed the way I play, where I play, and how I play. And I sound like an ad for the thing, but it's absolutely true. I love that. And the community, man, the community is... you guys have been awesome. I think since we started this, and Pete primarily hanging out on Xbox and talking to a lot of you guys, and me on Twitter, and Umbra on Twitter as well. Look, the community is it's second to none. And I think it's born of the multiplayer aspect that Xbox focused so heavily on early in its inception, and that brought people together. I still have friends from my original Xbox on my friends list. I don't talk to them very much these days, but I have played with them. The first time I played, I can remember the guy's name. The first time I played with someone across seas. He's an American dude called Curd Stone, and we played Band of Brothers. Man, that was an absolutely amazing experience. And me and him played every day, for a couple of hours, and got to know each other really, really well. And this dude, I think he lived in San Diego or something. And it was an amazing thing to reach across seas and talk to these. We take it for granted now, but at the time that was absolutely just out of control amazing. Sitting there playing a game, talking to this dude, cooperating, and just having a ball. So, the community and Xbox, they're the 2 things that I love about it. Crispy, I'm going to go to our guest. The one thing, I'm not going to go 5, the one thing that you love about your Xbox and the Xbox community.
Well, I'm going to break the rules and say 2. Game Pass. Game Pass is just amazing. I mean, come on, renting from Blockbuster and what I have now for $15 a month is just absurd. I mean, if I had this when I was a kid, I would have saved a lot of money. I'm just saying. And for me, it's, got to be Gears and the Gears of War community, because it's still alive and well, despite what people think. And really, if Xbox let that IP die, I wouldn't have my beloved Gears. So that's something that, the community is awesome, and what we're all about. If somebody doesn't know how to play the game, we'll help you. You just got to ask.
Mm-hmm. And that is that. Honestly, that's the whole Xbox community and any Xbox game. They're always willing to lend a hand and help out. Some people will stomp on you and then laugh about it, but it's pretty rare. Cutie, what is it that you love about Xbox and the Xbox community as a whole?
Well, like Risket said, I could be here for hours and hours talking about how much I love it. But I've experienced the PC gaming environment. I've experienced PlayStation gaming community environment, and I can tell you now, the Xbox gaming community is just one of a kind. And you know why? Because, and it's one of my favorite things about Xbox/Microsoft, they are literally moving from strength to strength to strength. They are always looking to the future, and that's the reason why they're so successful now, or more successful now than they ever have been. And I think the community is a reflection of that. We are down to earth. We are helpful, friendly, community minded, and yeah, I think it makes for every time I come to play, I always end up having a positive experience. And I've met many people across the world, and it's so nice. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pete, I'll move to you, sir. What is it that you love about your Xbox and the Xbox community?
It's very easy for me. I am so proud to say that I have met true friends in this community, and that I think is a rare thing and a valuable thing that I treasure. So yeah, very, very easy question for me.
Oh, well, wow, I thought that was going to go for a while. Nice work. Succinct, to the point. Absolutely, I agree with that one as well. Umbra, I'll go to you, and then we'll move to our next topic.
I'll say this. I was distracted by some very slanderous stuff inside the chat.
That wasn't slanderous. That was 100% correct. 100% correct.
I just thought it was so slanderous. I wonder who Bushido is referencing when he says somebody whose name rhymed with Tundra. I just don't know. I don't know who he's referencing. But Riz, could you please ask the question again for me, brother?
Absolutely. So Toolman55 asks, well, he asked 5 things, but we're going to go, what's the one thing you love about Xbox and the one thing that you love about the Xbox community the most?
Well, the one thing I love about the Xbox community is that I'm a part of it and I make it better. No, no, joking. No, seriously. I think, and I've said this before, I think the Xbox community is the best community in gaming by far. I don't say that just because I'm some super Xbox fanboy. I say that because of the support we all show and the love we show, genuinely, not just some fake love. I'm talking about real love that we all show toward each other and supporting each other, be it us going to other people's podcasts, them coming out to support us on ours, be it to be supporting our friends and such in streaming and what they do, like Kiryu and doing what he does, and he's building up on that, and Cutie doing what she does, for instance. And then people like Shooter, who was, by the way, just announced he'll try to do a Modern Warfare 2 giveaway in the upcoming weeks or so. He's going to talk to us about. By the way, thank you again, Shooter, for that. And things of that nature. I think we just have a much more welcoming community when it comes to things like that. And I look at PlayStation, for instance, and you see there's almost a stark, like, opposite comparatively. It seems like they're mad a lot over there, in my opinion. And if they're not mad, it's some type of trifling type of scam going on where they're tricking people for money or something like that. It's just not as welcoming, in my opinion. And I mean that wholeheartedly. As far as what I love about Xbox, it's too many to name, but because it's my preferred platform. Yes, thank you for highlighting that, Risket. That needs to be shared. But as far as what I love about Xbox itself, I'll just name something simple. I love the controller. How about that? I'll go with something really simple. I love the controller the most. It fits my gigantic manly hands that could crush mountains perfectly. And yeah, and I think that they have the best controller in gaming.
It's nothing like a little bit of self-promotion. You can go and check out Umbra's hands on Twitter.
I thought I was very humble. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah,
Actually, on that, Umbra, everyone knows how much I love my controllers. I have a lot. But I prefer where the left thumbstick is located.
Yeah,
I can't, the PlayStation one is just too far away. When I was playing God of War, getting like thumb cramps in my left hand, and
offset sticks definitely feel better to me too.
Yeah, and they, Xbox has spent like I think $2-3 million on controller ergonomic research. So and it shows.
It absolutely does, and I agree with you, Cutie. I love asymmetrical sticks as opposed to the symmetrical sticks, and it just sits ergonomically in your hand. Anyone who says that it doesn't is absolutely foolish. Look, I'll also add post-faced. I'll post-face what Umbra said about the community, and I'll just highlight one of the differences that I have seen. If you are a PlayStation community member, and this seems to be only on Twitter, I'm not saying that this is the norm, but on Twitter it seems to be that if you voice any type of preference towards the Xbox, or even if you are a PlayStation guy, they will jump on you or kick you out of their community and attack you quicker than you can turn around, and that does not happen.
That is a fact.
It doesn't happen in the Xbox community, and that I am grateful for, because I can talk about God of War openly.
It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that, Risk, because Xbox Uni had a space open earlier. Just to throw this little part out there, he mentioned something similar. He said where Xbox guys will give PlayStation his props and say, hey, this game is great on PlayStation. But PlayStation guys absolutely do not love to do that for Xbox. They won't.
It is, and this comes down to us just being a lot more down to earth, a lot less, we are the best. And yeah, like we can give props where props is due. But you know what? Microsoft and Xbox, we've been through the hard yards to develop this resilience and this kind of community attitude. Back when things were going wrong, you had to reach out to other Xbox players. You had to ask, is yours doing this? What can I do? How did you fix yours? Where did you go? And I think because of that, because of those difficult times, it has led us to being such a more open community, which I love.
Yeah,
I just want to say, Doomy, that Microsoft spent, I think, $100 to $150 million on R&D for the controller. Yeah, a ridiculous amount of money. But hey, it's the best controller in gaming.
Yeah, I could use some of that money. So Microsoft, if you're listening, a cool $50 million wouldn't hurt. Just saying. Look, I've got
the podcast, of course, risk it.
Yeah, no, that'll be for my wallet. Moving on, I'm just gonna say before I do move on, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. If you are new here, please hit the like button, share it out, let everyone know. If you have a question, please type question in your chat. I will get to them. I promise that will happen. There's a lot more to go through, so I don't want to speed through this stuff. I want to cover it correctly and with the gusto that it deserves. So yeah, if I don't get to your question straight away, I will get to it later on. I promise. Warzone 2 got a release date leak. Absolutely crazy. No one thought that this was going to come this year, and it seems extremely legit. And it has a placeholding of November 16. They're talking about releasing it. And they've got it in, I can't remember who released their tweet. I think it might have been Idle Sloth or one of those guys who's pretty reliable. So this is pretty amazing to see that that Warzone 2 is going to come out later in the, not too long after the multiplayer and the new Modern Warfare 2 comes out. And I'm pretty excited. I am a former diehard COD player as well. And so I'm pretty excited to see where they go with Warzone and what they do with it. Maybe will it bring me back? I don't know. I'm not really a big Battle Royale fan. But if they do something wild with it, I'm definitely going to get in there and try it out. And you never know, it might be on Game Pass. Crispy, is this something that you're excited to see? You got Modern Warfare 2 on lock, pre-ordered it, or is it not your kind of thing?
It is not my kind of thing. Call of Duty is just not. I mean, Modern Warfare 2, to be fair, I did play when it came out way back when, but I don't know. I just find like their multiplayer, like if you're not with it, man, you are just getting destroyed constantly. I could be wrong. They could have changed a little bit. The Warzone thing, I don't know. I fell out of love with battle royales. You know, like I played a lot of PUBG. I had like 22 days in it at one point. So I like to be able to switch between third person and first person. It's just kind of my thing. You know, just straight up first person shooters. Like I'd rather just play single player because I just don't feel like I'm skilled enough at a first person shooter. You know, Halo, I mean, and that's where I go and say I could go and play Halo because Halo feels much easier to pick up. You know, the maps are, you know, seem to be a little bit more, you know, easily navigating. And it's just one of those things like, I don't know. Every time I play Call of Duty, it's either you can't find anybody or then it becomes you spawn and you're dead. You spawn and you're dead. And I'm like, you know, I tried the last one I played was like World at War and it was like just a constant like headache for me. So, you know, might pick up Modern Warfare 2 if it you know, gets a little cheaper. You know, I'm not gonna pay full price for that.
Well, before you do that, if you haven't played Modern Warfare, the 2019 release, dude, that campaign is absolutely solid. If that game is worth it just for the campaign. So if you haven't played that, dude, and a lot of people haven't, I'm surprised to hear because I get every single COD, I play every single COD every year. But dude, that is one of the best Call of Duty games ever made, best Call of Duty campaigns ever made, and I promise that you will love it. And
I enjoyed it.
C-Steph is in the chat. I just want to say Cold War is trash. Umbra, I'll move to you. Are you excited to see that Warzone 2 release date dropping not long after the release of Modern Warfare 2?
I am, but for a different reason, and that's because of the PlayStation marketing rights. I'm much like you, Crispy. I have zero interest in battle royales. I have zero interest in Call of Duty multiplayer. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's the time to kill, I think, is the problem that you have more than the first person part. Because it's like you said, as soon as you spawn, it's like that's all you hear is the shots. You're dead.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I've tried it and it's frustrating. It's for a very specific Twitch type of player, and I'm not a Twitch type of player. I like kind of setting up how I play. Like Halo, for instance, has a better time to kill. And it allows us to do reversal. So somebody can get the drop on me, but I can still murder them. Excuse me, I probably shouldn't be saying that on the pod. I can still take them out on a in a play if I outsmart them or outmaneuver them, be it strafing or whatever it may be. I like that. You don't really get a chance to pull it off in Call of Duty unless you're like one of the most elite type of players. You know, I've seen some people pull off some crazy stuff. Don't get me wrong. But typically, if they get the drop on you, you're done. It's just the truth. And it's just not for me. This, like I said, a Twitch type of shooting. But I will say, campaign-wise, I agree with Riskit. If you have not played 2019's Modern Warfare, play it. It's not, to me, the greatest of their campaigns, but it is very, very good. It's gorgeous, by the way, because that is that id Tech engine. And man, look at this. Like, look at the Modern Warfare 2. Look how great that engine is. And that's now first party for Microsoft. I hope they utilize it. I hope they do. But I'll say this. This is why I'm excited a bit, Risk, because if you all are not paying attention, and I think it was Idle Sloth that shared that, by the way, as far as that news of Warzone 2 coming out this year. That means right there that it's 3 games that were left for Sony's marketing deal with Call of Duty, and that would oblige it. So you have Modern Warfare 2 this year, you have Warzone 2, and if they're going to their bi-yearly schedule, that means there's one more game, which will probably be 2024 for Call of Duty, and that's it. After that, I can imagine, you know, any marketing and games going straight to Gamepass. It's automatically over at that point. So there wouldn't be any issues as far as that go, and all those games will be coming to Game Pass without any issue, I think, from Sony. So that's the part where I'm actually excited for. I don't think it would matter anyway. To be fair, I think they would still come to Game Pass. So maybe that doesn't matter. But as far as marketing, I know that it's going to matter for Microsoft because now they will be able to, put those types of things on the Xboxes and such like that, which is just going to up jump their sales crazy. And the only reason I would care for sales of that is because I know that them doing better in sales means that they'll do better in doing acquisitions and things like that or services for us. So that's the only reason I would care.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does bring in an absolute shit ton of trying to find a word that wasn't a swear word, but it just doesn't exist. Absolute shit ton of players. So, look, Cutie, I know that you had a mandate or a goal to play more shooters. Is Modern Warfare your like one of those things that you're going to dip into to try to achieve that goal?
Yeah, look, I think I will. I haven't been a big Call of Duty person, to be honest. But I think if I'm going to do it, I think now is a good time. I think my confidence is finally a little bit more up there. I feel more comfortable playing Halo, and I think I'm a pretty decent shot in Fortnite. So yeah, and when we were playing Gears as well, like, even though it's clunky, like I still got a couple of good shots, I thought. So yeah, I think I will. Look, yeah, it's not going to be for everyone, but I've got a few people that I'll probably squad up with. It's probably not something that I'll play by myself at first. So I'll probably just go with the team and, yay team. But that's the beauty.
Player at Fortnite. Yeah, don't talk yourself down. I've seen you play Fortnite and you're pretty damn good at that game. So.
Oh, thanks, Pete. Yeah,
if you're going to try one or the other, COD or Halo, I definitely recommend Halo.
No, I've already played Halo. What are you talking about? I played Halo last weekend.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I'll, in a squad, I think that'll get my confidence up in regards to the environment, learning the map, stuff like that. And see how we go.
Yeah, Pete's become a self-proclaimed Halo support. He wants to keep Halo alive, so he's taken it on his shoulders to keep that game alive so that he can continue to play it. So, yeah.
Just for him.
I don't think that Modern Warfare 2 is launching on the 28th of October. Call of Duty's having the next showcase on September 15th. I can't see them launching Warzone 2 this year. I mean, what, are they going to go up against each other? That just sounds ridiculous to me. I just can't see it happening.
I don't. I mean, even though they're both shooters, I wouldn't say that they pull the same demographic.
Yeah, what do you mean? Exactly. I'll actually co-sign that. What do you mean, like competition? It's the same. It's in the same game. It's in the same. They live together. It's the same thing. It'll just bring more people to the ecosystem. More people might swing over and play the Twitch shooter multiplayer experience, or more people might swing over and play that Warzone experience. You would want to have Warzone ready to go when you drop the new Modern Warfare 2, Pete. So if you want to elaborate,
kind of like a mode. Think of it as a mode, Pete. It's kind of like a mode for them, if anything. That's how they see it, because they ran concurrently Warzone and Modern Warfare 2019 the same way.
They don't come together because Warzone 2 will be free to play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so was Warzone 1.
People might... so people might just get that game to get their Call of Duty experience for the year and skip Modern Warfare 2. I just can't see that happening. I just think that would be a really stupid financial decision to make. I can't see it happening. I'm happy to be wrong, because the more COD to play, the better. I think I'll be getting Modern Warfare 2 day one. Modern Warfare 1 was absolutely a return to form in both the campaign and the multiplayer. I didn't like the multiplayer as much as I like Cold War, but that's just me. I prefer arena shooters than I do the experience that I got. Yeah, I like that Halo arena shooter perspective, and I got that more in Cold War. That's just my personal preference. I can't see them launching side by side at the end of the year.
No, I can argue this. I want to.
September 15th.
Yeah.
Everything in my bones want to go. It's a Twitch shooter. It's nothing like Halo. It's the complete opposite. If anything, Modern Warfare 2019 is more similar to Halo because the TTK is a lot higher. But we're not going to get into a Modern Warfare argument.
And to be honest, with the drop of Discord, we're going to be able to play with everyone, so it's going to be great.
I like playing with everyone. Look, I think we'll move on to the next topic before we get into that Modern Warfare, Cold War argument that we love to have in Xbox parties. Just where are you, Steph? Let's go at it.
He's not here.
I know. I hope he hears it later on. And
he's missing all your takes.
He's grinding his teeth about it. Probably because he knew that.
Enough of your Vanguard slander.
Probably because he knew that.
Bushido, don't
side with Pete.
Warfare. Bushido. Don't side with Pete.
Bushido likes being wrong, so of course he works out.
Listen, here's a big one. Here's a big one for the week that everyone seems to care about. But I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. It's something that I didn't play the first one, and I'm probably not going to play the second one, and unless it comes to Gamepass or something. It wasn't something that floated my boat back in the day and 9 years ago, and it doesn't float my boat today either. But it has been the buzz around the internet. Everyone is absolutely loving the announcement. I'll get to your question in a minute, Greg. Look, Dead Island 2 has got its rumored to have a release date revealed at Gamescom. And for the people that love this game, I am super happy for you. It doesn't really do a whole lot for me. But man, when this is like the mother of all leaks, they've leaked the cover art, they've leaked screenshots, they've leaked the release date. There's nothing about this game that's really left to be announced except for maybe seeing a trailer. So I don't know, Umbra, you're a bit of a Dead Island 2 fan. So yeah, well, are you super excited to play this game? Because for me, meh.
I'm excited for like the fact that, if you've seen the screenshots, if you all haven't, look them up. It looks pretty damn good. I'm not sure what engine they're using, but it looks really, really good. It looks solid. I can see them doing something with it. It's going to be something to be said that it's been 9 years that is, taking them to get to this point. And by the time it would release, theoretically, on this rumor for next year, February 3rd, a day before my birthday, by the way, I'll make sure to get the links out there for you all. Send me money anyway. Just to say, it's interesting that it's been so long, but I don't know if you all remember that trailer for the first game. It's like one of the best game trailers ever made. So I have some trust in them and in that studio to actually deliver when it comes to that. But when I look at it, by the way, I will say, does it not put you in mind risk of Dying Light, just the way it looks, even with the weaponry you could see them with and all that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
But again, it does not float my boat. I love horror. Horror is one of my favorite genres, but just the style of the game didn't do it for me at all. It wasn't my thing. I think we've kind of moved past that style of game as well. Callisto Protocol will be more my
But they might have changed a bit though. Like it might be closer to Dying Light in the style in some ways. So I'm interested in seeing how they present it, if it'll be changed in some way like that. It looks kind of like it is, but we'll see. Listen, if they have it where it's like a big, open world co-op kind of thing or experience like the first one in some ways, I think it could be well. I think it could do well, man. I know it's set in LA and such as they're talking about. It looks really good. I think I'm excited for it for that reason. I'm excited for any game to come out well. So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, well, games are good because we currently don't have any. So, Crispy, are you a Dead Island fan? Doesn't sound like it would be up your alley from what I can tell, but I'm interested to hear. Are you super excited about Dead Island 2? 9 years, 3 different studios.
It's been 84 years.
It sounds like a hot mess. I don't know. I will agree. That game, that trailer for the first one was pretty freaking awesome. I never got into the first one. I'm more of a, and I could see where you're saying Dying Light, but I don't know, like I play Dying Light, so it's like that parkour has got to be there hardcore. Like I got to be able to traverse the world like crazily. And I haven't even picked up Dying Light 2. I saw so many people having issues with it like at the beginning that I was just like, I'll wait. Same thing I did with Cyberpunk. I bought it and I just got tons of bugs, and I'm like, just put it down before you get yourself mad. Exactly what I did. Went back into it. The game is much better. So if I really have a zombie itch, which doesn't happen anymore, I'll go and buy Dying Light on sale, Dying Light 2. So yeah, I mean, happy for the people that want it. I see a lot of people happy that it's coming. I thought it was dead. I mean, I think we all did. So hey, good on them. They didn't give up. So we'll see. If I see more and it looks even more interesting than even I expect right now, maybe I'll pick it up on a discount or hopefully just wait for it to drop in Game Pass. You just never know anymore.
Yeah. Again, I think that's the only way I'm going to be jumping on this game. Pete, are you? Look, I know you played the first one and enjoyed it. So, do you see yourself purchasing?
I absolutely loved Dead Island 1. It was a fantastic game. Great in co-op. Really, really great in co-op. I co-op the whole experience. Yeah, I loved it. Cannot wait for Dead Island 2. And I just wanted to say, how much did Goat, and I wrote it in the chat, how much did the Goat Simulator trailer at the showcase remind us of the Dead Island trailer? I mean, it was obviously an homage to it. And so I was really upset when I saw that trailer because I was really hoping it was Dead Island 2. So yeah, I'm really happy that it's coming. My only problem is, how am I going to play this game? I mean, how much is releasing at the start of next year? It's getting a little bit ridiculous. I don't know how I'm going to fit everything in. But yeah, really looking forward to it.
You'll find a way, Pete. I'm sure you will find a way to fit it all in.
Cutie,
it sounds like we're going to have to play through it, Pete. All of us going to have to jump in there.
Have you? The trailer was amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I've got to put it up on screen now. But I mean, 9 years, man. It was 2014. This trailer showed. So 3 studios, as Crispy said, sounds like a hot mess to me. So, Doom, Cutie, are you excited to play this? Are you worried that it's just going to be an absolute dumpster fire, or how's you feeling? How are you feeling about it?
Look, I personally don't really play a lot of zombie games. Although seeing that this game is in production for 9 years, it's either going to be a really good thing or a not so good thing, and it could look very, could be very scrapbooky, I guess, with all the different elements shoved together. However, the screenshots look solid. It looks cool. I think I like games that sort of take the edge off the horror, if that makes sense. And I think the quirky vibe that Dead Island sort of puts out there is, for me, it's an attractive thing. And yeah, I think it'll be really cool being set where it is being set, sort of a coastal vibes. Quite similar to, the coastal areas in Far Cry 6 sort of thing. I don't know. I think it could be cool. I think it could be cool if it does come out. If it does come on Game Pass, I'll give it a go. But I won't be, first in line to get it. That's all.
Yeah, look, I'm going to kind of wait to see how this kind of game rolls out. I'm going to be interested to see it at Gamescom, but again, watching the trailer, I kind of forgot. It really is absolutely amazing. And I can't think of that movie with Woody Harrelson in it about the zombies, Zombieland. It kind of gives me Zombieland vibes. And I think that's a pretty cool looking type thing, but I don't know if this is what we're going to get. You know what I mean? This trailer was in 2014, and and it's gone through 3 studios. We just don't know at this point how it's going to come out. So, but again, I'm interested to see it, but it's not something that I was super excited about. The buzz, I think, outweighed the. It kind of didn't feel like it deserved the kind of buzz it got. But hey, it's good to see people getting excited about games. It's never a bad thing. I just didn't think it had this much of a following. But when you're starving and someone presents you a cracker, you're going to gobble that up and it's going to be the best cracker you've ever eaten. So,
just throw out one last thing, by the way. It's being developed by Dam Buster Games. They formerly Crytek UK. And the one game that they produced before this was Homefront. So I don't know. That might not be good. It could be a negative. I'm not sure how people have felt about that Homefront game. So
yeah, it's a bit hit and missy. Yeah. But there's a lot of things that can go into a game, lack of budget or, and put a pressure from the top down type thing, pressure from the bottom up. You never know. They can produce gold, and Crytek has produced gold before. Look, we'll move on to the next topic. But before we do, please hit the like button, subscribe, share it out. We do have a fair bit of news today. It is a bit of a long one, but I love it when we get a long one and a lot of news, and it's been really dry. So I'm just soaking this up. It's absolutely amazing. If you have a question, please type question in the chat. Let us know, and we will get to your question. And actually, I will jump quickly to Monad. Look, they did talk about it. He asked in the chat, do we think that we'll see COD go to a 2-year release cycle? I believe they already talked about that. I think they actually did have a conversation about that and said it was a possibility in an investor call. It wasn't a rumor. It was something that came directly from ABK. So, and I think with Microsoft purchasing ABK, I think that's what we're going to see happen. I think it was Brandino in the chat said that he may not see it happen, or someone said in the chat they don't think it'll see it. I think that's almost 100% certainty personally. What do you guys think? Do you think that we'll see a 2-year cycle for COD?
I believe they've already said it.
Yeah.
They've already spoke on it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll definitely be a bi-yearly thing. They said going forward.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
personally, I think it could be longer. Yeah, I think it could be longer personally, but 2 years would be at least give them some time to develop that thing more. It always felt like it was kind of rushed
studios as well, won't it, Umbra? To work on other IPs.
Yeah, and that's only a good thing. Yeah, because they do have, I think, we were trying to talk about it last night, but I don't remember the exact number, but I counted it. I believe it's 17 studios they have that develop. I have to look at this again.
That's insane.
Or support teams as well.
Yeah.
Halo could use some of those support teams, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of support teams within those 17 studios, and so freeing those, and they are former, they formerly worked on IPs of their own, but now do not work on their own IPs. They work on COD, and I'd like to see those teams freed up. So hopefully, they do come through with the 2-year cycle. We'll move on to PlayStation reportedly blocking Cult of the Lamb. Now, I do have the sound to this, and I kind of want to bring this up on screen. I recorded the thing. You just have to give me a minute. I should probably be more onto it, but you'll have to give me a couple of seconds to find the video. But apparently on Twitter, I think it was Gary Whitta. Is that right, Umbra? Gary Whitta was saying that he heard from someone that the reason that Cult of the Lamb did not come to Game Pass was purely because PlayStation paid to block it. Now, I do have it here, and I will just pop this on screen so you guys can see it if you're not on Twitter, and hopefully the sound comes through. So just give me 2 seconds. We'll play this for you, and then we'll speak on it.
The other day about how Cult of the Lamb's not on Game Pass, because Game Pass has created this terrible, like the dark side of Game Pass has created this kind of entitlement mentality where we're so used to all the games we want being on Game Pass, and when one falls outside of that, and you're like, wait, I've got to go to the store and fucking buy this? Fuck is that? You're not used to it because we're so spoiled by Game Pass. Mm-hmm. And when I went to Game Pass, Cult of the Lamb, I hear it's good, I want to play it. Let's see if it's on Game Pass. And it's not. I was like, I got to go buy it, which I was happy to do. But still, you have that little moment of it's not on Game Pass because Game Pass is becoming the norm. Somebody told me that part of the reason why it's not on Game Pass is Sony paid them not to put it on Game Pass, as they will incentivize you to not do any additional subscriber deals or whatever. But somebody told me that one of the reasons why I was complaining the other day about.
So that there's very interesting. Now, it did seem like a very, very throwaway thing. He didn't mention who it was, who told him that, or whether it was a credible source. But I mean, it goes to what we saw with the ABK deal when those all the documents were public, and what PlayStation said to I think it was Cade, the Brazilian FTC, basically, and what Microsoft responded with, that they know that that Sony blocks Game Pass. They know it's happening. They've seen it happening. And this is just another example. It's a real shame. And look, we spoke on this briefly last week. And there's a big difference, and I've had this conversation with a few people. There's a big difference between buying studios and making those games exclusive to grow your platform. There's also, and I don't like money hat in games, but there's also a big difference between purchasing exclusivity rights from a third party or second party developer to place a game in your platform for 1 to 2 years. There's a big difference to grow your platform. And there's a big difference between that and paying directly to stop the growth of your competitor. It's not illegal. I do know that. It is anti-competitive though, so I wonder if in the future it may be looked at as so, and you know, the FTC or anyone like that may get involved. Maybe Hargate has an opinion on this. You want to throw it in the chat, but you know, this just sucks, man. I don't like it. Is just business. I get it. But I do believe that it is anti-gamer. Some people don't like to say that sort of stuff. They don't like to say anti-competitive or anti-consumer. I think it's just anti-gaming all round. You're paying to keep games away from gamers. Some people who can't probably afford it's not a very expensive game, but some people who can't afford or aren't too sure about the game won't play the game because you've paid to keep it from them. And that's just bullshit in my book. I don't like it. And I'd like to see, and I think we're starting to see Microsoft come out and hit back. Crispy, I'm going to go to you on this one because I think I heard you speak on this on Boom's podcast, The X Factor, and I did like what I hear. I like your thoughts on it, but I'll go to you and you can tell the people what you think. Do you think that they did block Cult of the Lamb? How do you feel about PlayStation blocking games from coming to Game Pass?
Oh, this is typical Sony, man. Like they would rather spend money on keeping games off other consoles than spending money on their own darn console at this point. You know, let's put everything to PC, but let's not allow this on Game Pass, and let's play this big game. They're playing a big game. I mean, we all know it. They've been doing it for a long time. I guess we should be happy that they're not doing a Final Fantasy VII remake on us. You know what I mean? Because that's another one that I'm like, dude, you said it was exclusive for a period of time. Now, how long is it exclusive for? You know what I mean? So why don't you spend money on making us some multiplayer exclusives over there and stop spending money on keeping games out of Game Pass because you're afraid of it, if we don't forget that. Quite funny. But I mean, it's their fear. They're afraid of it. They're afraid of what Game Pass is. You know, they don't want to become Blockbuster when Netflix did the Blockbuster. That's what it's starting to look like right now because they refuse. They have a premium tier that is more expensive than Game Pass Ultimate, which includes PC game. If you have Ultimate, you can play PC Game Pass, people. Just to let you know. So people don't know that. So if you have a PC, you could download PC Game Pass. You're already paying for it. So, you know, they have that. You get day and date games in Ultimate. And what do you get in that $18 tier? I don't know. All I heard is that you got Stray and you get what? The old exclusives that have been there?
No, you get to play 2 hours of some other games.
No, you don't even get 2 hours because I checked on Rollerdrome because another great creator, Skill Up, had a glowing review of Rollerdrome, and I checked to see what the demo, what you would get. You get an hour. You don't even get to.
No, okay. No, yeah. The one that I just looked at was Uncharted because I haven't played that yet and I wanted to. And it said I got 2 hours as part of being PlayStation Plus. So I was like, ooh. But what if I want more than 2 hours? You know? Anyway.
You know, I'm personally at this point, like, they complain about not having the funds to be able to put their games day and date in their game service. But they have the money to block games from going into Game Pass.
Right.
Where is the logic? There is none. And then they'll go as far as taking Death Stranding and putting on PC Game Pass. Does anybody see that Sony looks like Xbox at the Xbox One generation until Phil took over? They look exactly like that right now. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a clear direction. Do you know what Xbox's direction right now? Continue to make great multiplayer experiences. Continue to have a great live service that, you know, connect with gamers. adding more with Discord, stuff like that. Do we have our complaints? Would I love to have some kind of upload studio back? Would I like to be able to connect straight to YouTube? Absolutely. But they have a clear direction that is Game Pass and providing first party games into that service. They are trying to build a service. They're going to take a loss to have a gain at the end of the day. So if Sony doesn't figure out what they really want to do and really put their foot down and do it, they're going to look so messy, and their anti-consumerism right now is incredible. I see people all the time complaining about they can't get refunds, stuff like this. All they can do is talk to a robot. There's no human being to talk to. These are all things that are eventually going to piss off even your most fanatical gamers that are just going to say, I've had enough. I'll go get a Series S for $300. Oh, wait. And I get a free month of Game Pass right in there. And then I decide if I want to go with that or just download Madden every time because that's all I play. It's too much right now. Like, it's like it's too easy to go get an Xbox, and they're out there like easily available. It's like you're gonna get the people that are finally like, I don't want to play PS4 anymore. I want a new console. We're a couple of years in this generation. Why can't I get a PS5? And then they're gonna be like, you know what? Do I really want one? What's this Game Pass over here? And as people start realizing what it is and what it provides, I mean, the value is just undeniable. So, I mean, Sony needs to put their foot down and figure out what they're really doing.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'll mention Game Pass again because Riska tends to think that I mention it too much, and I am not being by Xbox. No,
it's
look,
the best
Game
thing.
Pass
It's the best thing since sliced bread. What are you talking about?
It really is. Game Pass is so consumer friendly. It is an absolutely brilliant service, and even if Cult of the Lamb, Sony didn't pay Cult of the Lamb specifically to not be on Game Pass, even though that is the rumor that Gary Whitaker put out. Look, they are doing it for other games. We do know this, and instead of paying it to be on your subscription service, you're paying it not to be on your rival subscription service. That is just so anti-consumer, so anti-gamer, and I really do hate hearing this. Look, they've got a subscription service there. It's in its infancy. Why not market that more? Why not pay money to make that better instead of trying to take it away from your competitor? I really do hate the way this looks. It stinks to high hell, and I agree, Crispy. Sony do look like what Xbox looked like at the Xbox One generation, and they better be careful because I said it last week on the podcast. They built up a lot of goodwill, but that goodwill can fade very, very quickly if consumers see a better deal out there.
Yeah. And it's like you said, Pete, you hit it on the head, man. It's like the fact that they'll go out of their way to block games. This might not be the case for this, right? Maybe what Gary would have had heard was incorrect. Devolver Digital came out and said it's not true, right? Okay, cool. But we know they've done it. So it's irrelevant if it's this one game that didn't do it. We know that Sony has done this practice. And it is very anti-competitive, at least it feels like. I know it's business at the end of the day. And, we'll say Sony is, they'll say it right off that putting money into subscription services is not lucrative, or at least is not sustainable, as Sean Layden tried to say, though he's never done that. But the fact that they'll do that, and now they have their own, subscription service, tells you otherwise. Clearly, Microsoft is leading in that way, but it's crazy that Sony can pull these types of stunts just because they're the market leader. That's the thing that irks me the most. Being the market leader has given them such a rise in some of the nonsense they could pull that has resulted in anti-consumer acts that even affect us.
We spoke about this, didn't we, Umbra? The fact that they are the market leader, and that does buy them a lot of goodwill, not just from consumers, but also from publishers and developers.
Very true.
There is a changing of the guard, and you can see it. There's no longer a 2-to-1 difference when consoles are, I think what was last count, 21 million to 16 million, something around that. it can turn around very quickly. And how long are publishers and developers going to allow Sony to stop their games getting to a broader audience because they used to be the market leader? Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I can see this changing very quickly.
I agree, and that's the thing. Like, I'm interested in seeing how long that's going to be the case because Microsoft has shown that they're in this fight. This is not some nothing for them. They're all in, right? So they've shown that, and you see, like you said, they're about to be at 17 million sales if they're not already there at this point. For the Xbox Series S and X. So Sony is not. It's not some 2-to-1 situation like a lot of the fanboys thought it would be. That's just not the case anymore. It's just a new gen. It's a new day. And Xbox with Game Pass, I think also with the ABK situation is only going to further that goal and that close that gap further. So it could very well be the case that Microsoft ends up being a market leader again for this gen, like they were for most of the 7th gen. So it's interesting to see how that turns out. But absolutely, the fact that Sony is the market leader has given them a lot of control in how they can push around these indie studios and other studios the way that they
I
have.
wanted to ask Crispy a question. Do you think that Sony are now regretting their decision to go with Jim Ryan over Sean Layden? Do you think that they took Sean for granted and how good he was for the PlayStation brand?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, guys, I did just have to step out real quickly there. My dog was going absolutely bananas. You guys call him Pitbull, so he's an English Staffy, and he is nuts, going nuts on the fence, but I stopped him. I've got him tied up. No, I haven't got him tied up. That would be mean. So, yeah. But it's just another step. And look, I think it's something that you guys haven't highlighted quite yet, is that it does make Sony again look scared, man. They're buying time. They're literally paying for time. They're putting money into stopping games from going to Game Pass. That money could be better spent on development of new games. It could be better spent on soaking up some of the so-called costs that they're saying, or the lack of, it'd hurt their quality because they wouldn't be able to spend as much on their development time. Putting these games day one into their service that really isn't competing because they just don't have that day and date. It isn't a Game Pass competitor. It just isn't that. It's great for people who haven't played their exclusives, no doubt. But if you have, it's really nothing for the hardcore gamers. And that kind of money that they're spending, or that we're hearing they're spending on putting into blocking games from going to Game Pass, would be better served by growing their platform and putting more money into PS Plus for their consumers instead of trying to hurt the consumers of their competitor. And to me, it's anti-gaming. It's anti-competitive, and it's bullshit. I don't like to see it. But look,
I agree.
We will.
One thing I'll throw out that, but before you move on, Risk, is that we found out about the cooking simulator, which Cutie was playing, was acquired to get into Game Pass for $600,000, which shocked all of us when we heard it. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I find interesting about it, something as small as that was $600,000 to secure into Game Pass. How much was Sony paying for these other games to be blocked that are way bigger than Cooking Simulator from going to Game Pass? I wonder.
Yeah,
just a thought to throw out there.
Well, you got to think about games like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, what did that cost to bring that to Game Pass? They have many different models. And he said, Phil Spencer himself has said, they don't use the same model to bring games to Game Pass for every developer. It depends on the developer. Some of them are, player-based, player count and downloads. And some of them are, an outright payment. And some of them are mixed. So, and you got to talk, you're talking in the millions, I think, for some of these big games to come to Game Pass. And look, I'm going to skip over a topic and come back to it, guys. And speaking of Game Pass, I mean, we've got Immortals Phoenix Rising coming to Game Pass. You've got Midnight Fight Express coming to Game Pass. And another little known game that you guys, if you like RTSs and TTSs, you should definitely have a look at. Commandos 3, the remastered version that doesn't cost $70, coming to Game Pass. So, see, Steph, you're here. Cold War sucks. Look, can you imagine the amount of money that's just in those 3 games alone? Midnight Fight Express is it's a smaller game. You got to imagine that it's got to be more than Cooking Simulator. So you're talking, I think you're talking, maybe 1 million, maybe downloads.
It's got to be in the million, if not millions, mate. Really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and so what is Sony putting into the, if you're talking millions of dollars to block, multiple games, it might be reaching into the hundreds of millions. You could be talking a whole game's worth of development for how many games they've blocked and how much they've spent. We don't know. We're just speculating. But, I just can't believe that it's supported again by the community. Like, their community just supports anything they do, and they will equate anything that they do to something else that's reasonable. It's not the same as buying exclusivity. It's not the same as buying a studio. It is just not in that ballpark. And look, we'll move on, but. Yeah, I mean, I just think that, as Pete said, the more that they do these sorts of things, the more that they are anti-competitive or anti-consumer. I think it's going to slowly hurt them and it's going to back them into a corner, into a point where, if they're not quick enough to jump here, that it might hurt them as a business.
I think they took Sean Layden for granted, like I said, and they made a mistake. They really made a mistake with Jim Ryan. I really do believe that. Yeah, and I don't want to see PlayStation go the way of Sega if they push themselves into a corner. Competition is good. It's the reason we got Game Pass. It's the reason you've got PS Plus. It's the reason we've got first party. Sony's first party. They pivoted back in 2016 and started putting out these bangers. And acquired Insomniac because that was the direction they decided to go at the time, and it was the right way to go at that time. But you can't be a blockbuster. And just sit on your hands because you're the market leader. You can't be a Kodak and see the digital age coming and do nothing about it, because where you will end up is where those companies have ended up. So, I mean, I hope Sony pulls its head out of its ass real soon and starts competing with Game Pass, because if they don't, it's definitely going to hurt them. We're already seeing it now. Like you guys said, changing of the guard. It's a new day. It's a new day. Look, we're going to go back to some negative news, which is crazy. We got more delays. No. Look, the positive in all this I will highlight is that 2023 is just absolutely stacked, and I think developers are going to have a problem, and I think we're going to see a lot more coming to Game Pass because of this, especially in the way third parties look, Evil West and Planet of Lana, where Planet of Lana is a day one Game Pass exclusive. Evil West, I would imagine, will eventually come to Game Pass. I kind of imagine that for every game, to be honest. That's third party. But Evil West said they would like to thank all of you for your continued support and patience for the Evil West. We are overwhelmed by the incredible reception the game has gotten so far from our trailers and the demo some of you played at PAX East. We're working our very best to achieve our vision of Evil West and to meet expectations. Evil West releases on 5 platforms, including multiple generations of consoles. Giving our games more polish is crucial, and to provide our players with not only good but also lasting memories. That's something that we've always pursued. And look, I won't read the rest. They've delayed it to November 2022. In 2022. So we're not going into 2023. I think that would be a bit of a mistake. But Planet of Lana has been delayed until spring of 2023. It's just a small delays. I guess it throws credence to it's not just Xbox, It's your third-party companies as well that are struggling with the change in climate. And the change in systems. There's a lot more systems to develop for than there were last generation. And you've also got to scale for PC if you're putting your games there as well. So look, I'm disappointed because I was looking at Evil West and it looks absolutely amazing. But November 2022 isn't that long to wait. And I'll be happy.
High on Life too, Risk, as Hargeet pointed out. That's another one.
Yeah, High on Life, as Monad pointed out before the show. Also delayed, mate.
Oh, really? I did not know about that.
December 18th,
December.
I believe. I'll just check Monad's
so 2 months.
He sent me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So he said High on Life to the 13th of December.
Yeah, wow, that's right around Callisto Protocol, so that'll be taking a backseat for me. But I definitely will play it because that's going to Game Pass. But yeah, that's it's just so many delays happening, man. And 2023 is looking stacked. Even the back end of 2022 is getting stacked now. I think the problem that we see here is
10th of December.
Yeah, I think the problem that we see here is that for developers now is where do we put these games in the coming years? You don't want to kill your game by dropping it next to some of these bangers. Yeah, but 2023 is looking good, people. Pete?
It's looking like I'm not leaving the house. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it both ways, can't you, Doomy? I mean, you can look at it that we're going to get to play a lot of games, and you can look at it that our real lives are going to suffer a little bit.
Well, that's absolutely true, Pete. Were you looking forward to Evil West, man? I know I was. I don't know if that's co-op, but it looks like just one of those, those sleeper hits. I was a bit disappointed.
I didn't know anything about it until Gray Monad, great friend of the show and a moderator, pointed it out to me, and so I checked it out. And yeah, look, I am looking forward to it, and I am disappointed it's delayed. But I think, as Hargeet pointed out, no date is safe anymore, and
No.
I think we just got to stop putting out dates because all it's doing is just it's making them look bad, and there's no need for it anymore. The industry is changing. It's struggling to catch up. And so, yeah, no date is safe. Just don't put dates out there. The game will be ready when it's ready.
Absolutely. And look, it brings up another question, and we did talk about it last week, and I want to keep bringing it up because we haven't seen gameplay from God of War yet. So, Crispy, do you think that it's possible that even though they dropped a solid release date, supposedly solid because Starfield was a solid release date, do you think it's a possibility that we might see God of War get another delay?
Oh man, if we don't see it by mid-September, I would say yes. Because I mean, most games go gold about 2 months before.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if you don't have something really significant to show by the middle of September, you're gonna have to delay it. And I almost think they want to delay it because then it's at least there's something like that major, right, with Starfield and Redfall somewhere around there. So I could see them doing that. I mean, I need somebody to like pull up a montage and like have these screenshots of all of these delays this year. I mean, it has been the craziest year for delays for gaming. I have never seen this as a gamer for over 25 years. It's absurd. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, the year of the delay, that's what this is now. So, and I thought at first, like, okay, we saw Redfall, Starfield, and then it just kept going and going and going and going. And we're like, you going to stop yet? Are we done here? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. And this is what I hate. Some of these games that gave a date right now, what if they delay again? Then stop giving a date. Just stop. You know what I mean? We gotta, I get we have the pandemic and all this stuff, but I mean, this is getting a little ridiculous. Like, if you have any inkling, then don't put a date out. Like, come on. COVID's been going on since 2020 now. So why are we still making this mistake? I just don't get it. So, I mean, hopefully they get their mind right. And I don't know what 2023 is going to be. I think some of these games are going to end up in 2024, and they're just blowing smoke up our whats. You know what I mean? And it's just like, don't even say, hey, we'll release at the end of the year. Everybody's saying beginning of the year, first quarter. It's like, no, you're not. You're not all going to have like 20, 30 games in like a 3-month span. Like, give me a break. So, you're going to see a lot of games probably end up begging Game Pass because if they do need to release, because financially they have to, or their board members want them to, or the shareholders. Well, I mean, if they're going up against a Starfield, yeah, you're probably in big trouble. So you might want to rethink that. But yeah, 2023, it's either going to be wild or we're going to see more and more delays. Who knows?
Yeah, great point, Crispy. And I think that we might no longer see delays purely and simply because the game's not ready. We're going to see the delays because there are too many games releasing at the same time. And a lot of these games are coming to Game Pass. So I wonder if Microsoft will just delay them to give each game a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, no, I agree because at this point they've said like they've been at least more vague about after the original delays. So they're probably just trying to figure out how they're going to stagger each game because you don't really need a game coming out every week. Maybe every 2 weeks would be all right. And then having Redfall and Starfield separated enough because they're much bigger games because you want to keep that subscription base going. It's just like what Disney Plus has been doing now, releasing the shows every week. You know what I mean? That wasn't originally what they were doing. Now they're doing that because they want people to constantly be absorbed in the ecosystem. And I mean, Xbox has got so many games right now between even third party or second party as we call them. I mean, it's you got to be able to at least spread them out a little bit, or you're just kind of wasting time, because these games aren't going to stop. They're going to ramp up even more. And it's like these little games that might have been really good, people might just be like, nah, I'm going to play Starfield for 200 hours. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's all they play. Like me, I'm probably going to be absorbed in that game. So, it's all these other games that come out. I'm just gonna be like, meh, and then maybe Redfall will hopefully be, they'll be separated enough where, I'm getting into both and I don't feel like I need to jump into the other one right away, even though I'm really into Starfield or, Redfall, vice versa at that point in time. So I hope they figure out a good way to spread these out. And even if, some of these games go to, mid-year and end of year, you might want to figure that out sooner than later, especially if you've just put 2023 in general. Well, I'm going to start thinking that those are going to be end of year status because you need something at the end of the year. Look what we got now. We got such a horrible drought in games right now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing against small indie games, but and they've kept us alive through this drought. But you don't want to be an indie game going up against Starfield. You just don't want to do that.
No, you definitely don't. There's always a market for that sort of thing. But as Hargate said, one thing that'll actually be an issue is games getting overlooked because of other game releases next year. Yeah, that's absolutely what is probably going to happen. And as you said, Crispy, that's something I was alluding to as I was going to is that you will see more games coming to Game Pass. I think releases that you may not have seen because they want an audience. And the best way to get an audience, and that goes for PS Plus also. I think that they'll be courting both subscription services to see where they go. Because PlayStation does have a player base, and it does need to fill the gap that they've left with that first party. First parties not coming to PS Plus. So Umbra, look, and also add one more thing before I go to you, Umbra. Games going gold, as you so succinctly put, Hargate. That doesn't mean that they won't delay after a game has gone gold. You've got to remember, this is not 2013, this is not 2016, where half the game is actually on the disc. What you get now when you buy a disc is a license, to play the game and download it from the store. So, going gold doesn't these days stop a game from being delayed or changed or patched in significant ways. So that is definitely not a 100% indicator that a game is going to come on time. Umbra, do you think we'll see, what do you think is next up in the delay list? Do you think God of War is going to get that delay? I mean, we talked about it last week, man. It would, from my point of view, it would be it'd suck, but it'd be amazing because I got absolutely slayed on Twitter.
That's where my thoughts go. My thoughts go to strictly if God of War happens to be delayed until next year, the pure joy you will get from the satisfaction of ridiculing the people who had derided you all this time. I can only imagine. I'm gonna have to turn off notifications. Like I said, I can only imagine that it's going to be, a told you so fest going on your end.
It'll be tally around the mountain. Sorry.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of people more mad at you if it's the case, for sure. They're like, oh, you Xbox fan, boy, you jinxed us. But no, it's interesting to see with all these delays. 2022 has not been a great year for releases, unfortunately. It's like Pete said, too, the indies have carried us this year for sure. That's not even a question. And I mean, fortunately enough, I love indies, so it works out. But man, 2023 is going to be stacked all around. So I'm interested in seeing how they shuffle around a lot of these release dates. And I know February itself is already going to be stacked. So I'm sure there's going to be more delays going for that as well, that they're going to push delays only in the sense that they're going to push and move them to new dates, by the way. So it's going to be very interesting see how that all unfolds. So, and I'm also wondering, because of those delays, will that affect Microsoft's plans, at least for fall releases? Because we know about the 12 months already, but we do not know what's going on in the second half of next year. So would that, for instance, push Hellblade 2 out of 2023, even though it might be ready or near, or could have been released in 2023? So I'm wondering how a lot of that will affect things when it comes to that type of stuff. But as it looks, 2023 right now, because of so many delays, is looking to be a golden year in gaming for everybody, be it Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo. It's going to be a crazy year, y'all.
Absolutely true. Doom Cutie, look, I wanted to ask you, is there anything that you're afraid to see getting delayed that you're really looking forward to coming? My personal one would be Callisto Protocol, and some people have been talking about it being delayed, but you're talking about Jimbo, like that man is it Jim who's the head of the studio? Oh, I can't remember his name, but that dude, Schofield, I believe his last name is, that dude is like he's a master of development. If you watch, he's done a few interviews on how he runs his development. I don't see that getting delayed, but it is something I'm fearful for. Cutie, so what is it that you're worried about seeing a delay for this year?
It already happened. The Hogwarts Legacy delay. It isn't surprising with how detailed that game needs to be in order to appease the fans. So yeah, that was supposed to release at the end of this year. It's now moved to next year, February.
You can hear the heartbreak. I can hear the heartbreak in your voice.
Yeah, like I was hoping I could play that over Christmas, over the holidays, but yeah, it's already delayed. Look, I think if God of War is delayed, I won't be surprised. And, we've said it before, no game is protected from being delayed. And I don't know what it is. But the thing is, if these big studios, who are banging out these AAAs, AA's, whatever, if they're struggling, I just don't know why why this is happening. And yes, it definitely has a flow-on effect for sure. And I'm sure that they have, numbers of how many games they release per month, whatever, throughout the year, and it just shifts everything back. And I'm sure it's an absolute nightmare for them. And I feel for them. We're just the consumer. They're actually producing this, and I know when you're changing timetables and schedules of things, it's a nightmare at the best of times. But imagine having millions and millions of people waiting for this, and then all of a sudden not delivering it.
Right, yeah. Well, maybe we should all start sending, dick pics to the developers, and we can get some release dates going. And
yeah, that's a great idea. You go first.
Look, definitely don't do that. We don't support that. I was just kidding around. Look, I'm going to move to the questions from the chat. The last one that we have here from Brandino Gaming. It's off topic. That's fine. I absolutely do not mind off topic questions, guys. So if you do have a question, hit us up in the chat there and type question in the chat. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new here, and welcome in Games Heroes, man. It's great to see you here. Off topic, who's excited for Dragon Ball Superheroes, and when are we going to get that dream Dragon Ball game? Well, Brandino, you're probably going to hate me here, but I've never really liked Dragon Ball Z. The only experience I have is when I was a teenager. I would come in, or an older teenager. I would come in and get changed to go out and flick on the TV, and the afternoon cartoons was Dragon Ball Z. And then 2 weeks later, I'd flick it on again, and they were still having the same fight. Wasn't my thing.
They did take notoriously long to power up and stuff. Mm-hmm. To be fair to you, but I love me some Dragon Ball Z, man. I love Dragon Ball Z, and maybe.
Umbra likes balls, clearly.
I like my own magnificent pearly balls. Anyway, Dragon Ball Z is magnificent. I don't know what this hate is coming from Risk It, but I won't stand for it, Risk It. Kamehameha you. sir.
We could have a
Pete,
fight.
You want to share your love?
We could have a fight that goes for 6 months about it. Absolutely.
Us doing nothing but screaming at each other. Ah!
Yeah, powering up. Oh man, just not my cup of tea, Pete. I know you love Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, oh yeah, love it so much. I have never seen an episode. Know nothing about Dragon Ball Z. Absolutely nothing. I was talking to Umbra about it yesterday. Yeah, look, I'm not really into anime. It's not my thing. Yeah, next question.
Crispy, I would imagine that you're a massive Dragon Ball Z fan, especially with your generation, the generation you were brought up in. I think it would be your thing.
No, not anymore. I used to watch it all the time, but yeah, no, that was when I was young. It's just not something I'm into anymore. So
yeah.
Yep.
Cutie is Dragon Balls. Do you want to see a Dragon Ball Z game, come out and take the title for Game of the Year?
Look, I think it's very slim that will happen. I think it's got a lot of fans. I've seen people with Dragon Ball Z sleeves and the whole legs covered in Dragon Ball Z characters and things from the show. I remember it on television, like at 6 o'clock in the morning before school. I remember it being on television, but not something I personally got into. I preferred Sailor Moon, to be honest. And
who doesn't? Oh, I'm thinking of the cosplay stuff. Probably not the cartoon. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know what you've been watching, but yeah. Look, I don't think it'll take out Game of the Year, but I think it has its fans, and I think it will be pretty cool. I think people are really liking the Fortnite skins, the Dragon Ball Z Fortnite skins. So yeah, apparently. People really like them.
Yeah, well, look, I agree. Yeah, there's definitely the fans out there. I hear about it all the time, which has never been something for me. But the fighting game wasn't terrible. I didn't mind it. But fighting games aren't my thing either. But look, hopefully everyone gets, I think, going into this generation, because we're not in it yet. We're really not. I think 2023 is when we enter Gen 9. And as we go into it, I hope everyone gets the game they want out of whatever system you're on. Because there's room for all of these games, and I would love to see a big AAA Dragon Ball Z title, but not before I'd love to see a big Lord of the Rings title. Listen, guys, that does bring us to the end of the show, but before we go, I'll do the outros, but I also want to let all of you know that on Twitter, we have an Xbox Infinite account. And what we will be doing, we're going to add a bit of a segment to the show, where we will be sharing, towards the end of the show, maybe middle of the show, the clip of the week. So if you have gaming clips, I will link the Xbox Infinite site in the chat. If you have some funny gaming clips, or just a fun gaming clip, or like a crazy shot, or anything at all, start sending through your clips to the DMs. DMs are open in Xbox Infinite, and we will rifle through them. Oh, fantastic! Thank you. I was typing as I was talking.
Would it be better for the to the DM or to the actual official account page?
Yeah. To the official account page.
DM.
Yeah, DM.
Sorry, if you would like to enter, you can DM the Xbox Infinite Podcast official Twitter. Feel free to go and follow and share that. And yeah, that's the only place. So no tags, no nothing. It has to be downloaded and inside those DMs.
Yeah, absolutely. So send it to the official. That's what I was saying. So the official Xbox Infinite Twitter page. Access those DMs. Those DMs are open. Just send through, and maybe with a short description. Don't go crazy. And just send them through. And in the next couple of weeks, we'll start to compile them all. We'll pick out our best one. And we will show it on the show and have a good laugh, or have a chat, or highlight your clip. Now, look, we'll get to the outros. Crispy Bomb, man, your takes are always amazing. I love seeing you on Boom Show, and also on the next podcast. I believe you're on there as well, which is Xspot 448's podcast. Another awesome podcast you guys should get over and check out. But look, let the people know where they can find you and what you'll be up to in the coming weeks.
Thank you for having me. Shout out to the chat. You guys were awesome. It's at Chrissy Bomb on Twitter, Chrissy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. You can find me on Retro Renegades Tuesday night, 7 p.m. We got Primetime Gaming 7 p.m. Wednesday, and the next podcast 8 p.m. Thursday.
Absolutely, man. I will try to find all of these links and link them in the chat as I talk. But it's like, rubbing your belly and patting your head at the same time. I'll jump over to you, Doom Cutie. And again, Crispy, man, thanks for coming on the show. Your takes are amazing. We appreciate having you. And Doom Cutie, another fire week. Absolutely great topics, great takes. And just let people know where they can find you and what you'll be up to, in the coming week.
Yeah, definitely. Big show, lots of news. There always is, and it always seems to come all at the last minute. But yeah, thanks so much for the chat. You're always awesome. You guys were really engaging. I love the questions, so keep them coming. And I look forward to seeing all of your awesome fails or wins. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Yeah, so you can find me on, obviously here, my home, Xbox Infinite. I'm not featured on any podcast this week, so I'll have the week off. You can find me streaming Wednesday, Friday, Sunday on Twitch. And then, I'm obviously on Twitter, and I'll be doing obviously more writing throughout the week. And I'm also playing a top secret game this weekend, which I can't talk about, but I can't wait to talk about it. It's so exciting, and it's coming out very soon. So
yes, copy that. And I will actually add, I will talk about it because you're under NDA, but I am not. And I spoke to someone who has already played it. We're talking about Saints Row. And from what I have heard, spoke at length to someone about this game. And what he was telling me was that it is a lot better than he had expected it would be. And he is having a blast with it. He said the co-op is absolutely amazing and good fun. It is only for 2 people. So listen, guys, if you were a little bit, and I definitely trust this person's opinion. He generally has a very skeptical view on a lot of games, and he was nothing but positive about Saints Row. He just said it's a good, fun game. If you're looking for a deep experience, that's not it. But if you're looking for just a bit of fun, driving around, shooting things, doing missions and whatnot with a mate, he said Saints Row is a very, very decent game. So, Cutie, we look forward to hearing what you think of Saints Row next week.
I'll definitely come with my hot takes because I will be experiencing that multiplayer as well.
Awesome, fantastic. And see if you can catch some footage. Jedi Knight Peter, another fantastic week, mate. Loved your takes. You had a fan in the chat there that's a little bit crazy, stalkerish. I would be locking my doors.
Hey, don't you talk bad about Wiz.
Yeah, let the people know where they can find you, what you'd be up to, and what you'd be playing.
I'll be living in Ark again. Thank you, chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you for Crispy. Your takes are awesome, brother. Really glad to have you on the show and hope you come back. Doomy, Umbra, Risk It. Yeah, every week, man. You guys are just amazing. Look, you can find me at Twitter at JediKnightPete, on Xbox at JediKnightPete.
Absolutely.
And I just want to say that the clips that we'll be showing next week will most likely be me teabagging Risk It and Umbra in Halo.
No, we don't need to see any more of that.
No sexual harassment clips.
No sexual harassment clips. Yeah, look, it may not be next week. I'll just clarify this. It may not be next week. It'll be when we've got enough clips to go forward and make sure that we've got some good content from those clips every week. So it may be a couple of weeks till we've compiled enough stuff, but head to that site. And if Doomy, you could link that again in the chat so the guys can jump on there and follow Xbox Infinite on Twitter. That would be awesome. Umbra, it's been an absolutely amazing week for news, man. I loved it. And your takes are always amazing. We've played some great games and we played Ascent and having an absolute blast and having an absolute blast with you on the show every week. So please let the people know where they can find you, what you will be playing, so on and so forth.
Yeah, same here, man. We got to jump back into the Ascent. I don't know if you guys will be up for it after this, but absolutely get back into that. And we got a lot of games coming up that we got to cover. I know it will be me, you, and Jedi will be doing a bunch of multiplayer games from what's the name of that? From Gears, the DLC 5
Hype
DLC.
Busters. Yeah, we want to do Diablo. We
State of
want to do
Decay,
State of
Diablo.
Decay 2.
Yeah, we got a lot to do and cover because unfortunately I haven't gotten to those, but you all will help me out. So I'm all for that. Just want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat for coming through and supporting us as you always do. We appreciate you guys and the love that you show us. And thank you, Crispy, for coming through, brother, and supporting us and giving your takes. Absolutely appreciated you coming through. And of course, my co-hosts here, you all are excellent. And Risk, you're doing a great job as host, brother. Keep it up. And you all can find me, of course, under Super Havoc on Xbox and PlayStation. There's a space in between Super Havoc on PlayStation. You will never, ever play a multiplayer game with me, more than likely, unless it's Ghost of Tsushima, if I feel like getting back on that. But Xbox, you will find me much more frequently. And of course, on Twitter, you can find me under Umbra Infinite or Infinite Umbra. You'll find me either way. And I welcome you all following me, and I'll follow back if you're a good, worthwhile people. Absolutely. And enjoy playing with you. Keep the community going strong.
Of course they're all worthwhile, dude. Come on. This is our chat.
Some of them not. Steph, I'm not sure. Steph, I have to weigh it out with Steph sometimes. No, I'm just messing. No, seriously though, thank you all for coming through and supporting us as you do.
Absolutely, guys in the chat, you power this show every week, and every week you just get more and more amazing. And this is what goes to what we're talking about with Xbox community. There's nothing like this anywhere else in any gaming platform. I don't care what anyone says. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you very much for coming to the show and listening to our takes every week. And guys, I apologize for being late once again, but we will see you all next week. And I promise this one time, we will be on time next week. So we'll see you all there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Guys,
Have a good week, everyone.
You better not make me late next week, I swear to God.
Oh, man.